Did you start to turn the corner and maybe give Chris Greer the benefit of the doubt when the Dolphins were beating all of these schmink teams? If you looked at the list of quarterbacks that they defeated during that stretch, it was all backups.
Yes.
It was guys that hadn't even made the practice squad in the preseason that got re-signed.
Yep.
I think even some of these guys might have played for the Heat. Nick Wallenda, unbelievable. What was his latest that he was like walking across two buildings in New York City, which would be much more dangerous if you were on the ground, if you look at what's going on in New York City, would it not? Would you rather be on a tightrope crossing, say, Madison Avenue? Of course, no matter how treacherous, no matter how windy. That still is one of my visions that I will never be able to erase when Osteen was making out with Nick Wallenda's wife while he was saying, "Pray for me, Joel." And he's sitting on the side of the canyon there going, "I don't think you're going to make it back, Nick. You know, the Lord has chosen a path for you, and it's not necessarily a favorable one right now in terms of crossing the canyon."
The time.
Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
Rock and roll, hoochie coo. We made it to another Friday, a Deel Volkswagen Degenerate Friday here on Ion Channel. Jeff Deforrest along with one Mike Lubitz. And once again, sorry for a little technical layout here, but this mic stand needs Viagra. It really does. I don't know where you got this thing from, Lubie, but very sophisticated looking, but works like shit. Basically, is the way this goes. It's always sagging, right? It's like crossing into your 70s, and you're just looking down going, hey, come on, boy. Let's get this thing started.
Come on, boy.
Anyway, good to be with you here on a Deel Volkswagen Degenerate Friday. Jeff DeForest, Michael Lubitz with you on Ion Channel. Always great to be on Ion Channel. I was going to turn the show today into a veritable flea market, and I was going to try, and you say Dan Patrick does this very effectively. I don't know how impactful this move would be for us, but anything that generates capital right now, obviously the Ion Channel people are going to be in favor of it, and we would be very much in favor of it, would we not, Mike Lubitz? Because, you know, you're diving into the deep end here when you take this whole thing on your own and move out of what was a very comfortable spot there in terms of generating capital on the local radio stations here in South Florida, where we essentially were running a renegade enterprise out of iHeartMedia. I think it took them 11 years to realize, hey, why are we letting those guys do that? And then, you know, it couldn't have been very advantageous. I mean, imagine you're listening to a local radio station here, in this case, in South Florida. We were working on a place called 940 Winds. We were also, we had a massive 2-station syndication as we were also on in the West Palm Beach market here in South Florida. And that was 1230 The Zone was the name of that station. Neither station was raising a blip on the ratings radar, but I don't know that radio ratings aren't completely bogus to begin with. I mean, it's one thing, you know, somebody says, hey, you only got like 3 clicks. And I don't necessarily go by that. I was going to use the flea market approach and try to sell these T-shirts that I have as a measuring stick of the impact that we've had in the first couple of months of the show. I figured if we sold like 20 shirts a day, too, we could actually make some money. These shirts were made for me by Fine Line Printing and Marty the Party Sachs, who went partners with me on this venture, which never got off the ground. But the shirts are great, and they say fully vaccinated across the front with a syringe as an exclamation point. Now, every now and then, I'll sleep in one of these shirts and then, you know, wake up and do my walk of life or whatever, or I maybe put that on because I don't want to ruin one of my good dress shirts with a big schwitz. And there isn't a single time that I go on the walk of life, which encompasses 4 miles of walking, 2 up, 2 back. And you run across a lot of people because a lot of people like to walk on A1A, and then especially the traffic, the foot traffic, pedestrian traffic is heavy. When I switch over to a small portion of the Walk of Life, which is a street called Briny Avenue, right by the beach there, and all of a sudden everybody that's walking or running or bike riding, they're all on that street. And I would say it's at least the over-under would be about 5 and a hook, I would say. Number of people that comment on the T-shirt.
That's great.
Either give me a thumbs up or say, I want one of those, that sort of thing. And yet I still have the full box, except for the 4 or 5 that I gave away when I first got them. And I was thinking, I got to make my money back on this venture.
Where's the box? You don't know where the box is? Where's the box? We don't know what
The box still sits at the place that I'm still stuck renting for another month, even though I already moved. Because whoever the agent was for the landlord was immovable and, had no understanding whatsoever of the situation. They could be making more money than they are off of me right now. They could have raised the rent.
Yes.
And, because the place was a desirable place and, in a decent location. But the box sits in the garage there. So I can access the box, but I wasn't able to display the T-shirt. So, I may take one out of the laundry basket and just iron it and put it on for the next segment here.
There you
so
go.
that we have a chance to maybe unload a few. If we could sell 4 or 5 of these, Lubie, I would be wildly encouraged about the results that we're getting, not only for us, but then I could use that as a measuring stick to say, hey, Hialeah Park, Deel Volkswagen, Gulfstream Park, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill, Destination Sport Miami, all of your fine sponsors, all of our restaurant sponsors. I'd be able to say, look at that. We sold 4 shirts today. You think that's easy? That shows you kind of massive results we're going to get. All right, people are going to be looking for results on these ball games that are taking place over the weekend. It's spread out over 3 days, 2 days, and then I guess they're even having. Is there not going to be a Sunday night game also, or is it just a couple of afternoon games? Yeah, there'll be a Sunday night game. So you have 2 games, I think, Saturday, 3 on Sunday, and then a Monday night affair. And all of the games look to be somewhat questionable in terms of which way to go. Because there's a lot of division among the handicappers. I'm looking right here. If you're watching the video stream, I'll hold it up for you. The New York Post handicapping section here, where they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys, 9 people. They have a couple of women involved on the panel, but 9 people involved in handicapping these games. For the season, you have a couple of guys, or a couple of the players have done fairly well. In fact, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of their 9 handicappers are over 500. All games picked in the NFL season.
If VSIN
Not
had
bad.
that, we'd lock them.
Yeah, I mean, one guy is doing real well. This guy, Blizo. His name is, let's see, it's right here. I think it's Jeff. But anyway, he's 21 games over 500 for the season. So might be a guy that Dave Blizo is the guy's name. Dave Blizo.
I was going to say Jeff.
Yeah, he's done well. 146 and 125, which basically just pays for the juice, as discussed here on a Deel Volkswagen Degenerate Friday in the past. When my grandson Liam, one of my grandchildren, Liam asked me how to factor in the juice. This was a math class project of his in the first grade. How to factor in the juice when trying to figure out if a guy is a winner or not, especially if they're picking a lot of games. And so that would be just enough, being 20 games over 500, picking all games. I mean, we're talking about 171 games. Picking all games, I mean, that would be just enough to cover the tab on the juice. So you're breaking even for the season if you're like 21 games over 500. Shows you how impossible it is, people. I don't know why we're recommending that you do this. It was great. I was watching a little bit of a basketball game last night on NBA Network because Golden State and they were taking on Golden State was playing Milwaukee.
Oh, nice.
And that turned out to be a blowout. I mean, when I tuned in, I was out playing a little, hack and tack tennis last night. And I got home and I turned on the TV. I'm looking for any kind of sporting event. It is weird without college football on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And my first inclination would be to turn on a football game before I turn on an NBA game. Maybe not an obscure college game, but and Golden State with Klay Thompson packing a lineup and Steph Curry's having what a lot of people feel is an MVP season, but he wasn't particularly sharp last night. I think third quarter, he had like 10 points, and I tune in, and Golden State is down 30. So it didn't appear that there was any comeback in the offing. I mean, they just got slaughtered by the Milwaukee Bucks. So all of a sudden, remember early in the season, people were saying, look at that. They got fat in the offseason. Playing like monsters right now, the Milwaukee Bucks. Somehow, the Miami Heat, our Miami Heat, are hanging in there with like a continuation of just one scrub lineup after another.
Yes.
I don't know how they're doing this.
The season, Butler's missed almost half the season, and they're the 2 seed.
Yeah, well, a very impressive record, and they're slaughtering teams. The Atlanta Hawks would have to be the biggest disappointment, I think.
Yeah, it's sad.
Some people would say maybe the New York Knicks. The Knicks made a deal yesterday, by the way, which Cam Reddish was a disappointment at Duke, was he not? Cam Reddish, I was surprised he ended up being a first-round pick.
Yep.
And the Knicks traded for Cam Reddish from the where was he? Houston
The
Rockets.
Hawks. Oh, he's from the Hawks.
Oh, Hawks. Yeah. Okay. They traded for Cam Reddish, and they gave up a conditional first-round pick.
And Kevin Knox, the man who was supposed to be a star, and
that was
never
Mike Nyman's selection to be a big-time star. Kevin Knox.
Yeah,
they got a couple of other schminks back. I like that you get dead guys back in a trade, right? They're like Dan Issel. I mean, Neek, I think, was part of the deal. The rights to Dominique Wilkins, I think, went along with that. And maybe even Lenny Wilkins, when he was a Hawk for a long time. But anyway, Cam Reddish reunited with Barrett, right? R.J. Barrett?
Yes. They were
All right, so 2 Dookies there. It's interesting, too, when you look, and I ended up turning away from that game. We were saying the Knicks were, a big disappointment this year, you would have to say. So maybe they found a way to rectify some of their problems. The Thibodeau thing is kind of interesting because everybody says after a little while, Thibodeau's message, because he's so hardcore, gets old.
Yeah, worse than.
And these guys tune out. And here we are in the second year. Now, they've had all kinds of different problems that may have led them to this point here, including Julius Randle not being as good as he was last year.
Well, Randle's not as good as he played at moments. Like, he's not a number one. He never was a number one, and they paid him like he is, and they expected him to be. So that's sort of thrown them off.
Yeah, and they've had injury problems. Derrick Rose was a big factor last year.
Great, and it was like, okay, yeah, but is this Derrick Rose going to be great for this long? Like, the dude has had so many issues.
Injuries, have really hampered his season and ability to kind of integrate himself into any kind of meaningful role with the New York Knicks. But, this was about as deep as we've gotten into basketball all season long. It's kind of interesting, but... Basketball, what's that? I'm trying to resign myself to the idea. Now, you have this magnificent run of playoff games coming up in the NFL, which I love the wild card. The first wild card weekend is always my favorite.
Yep.
And then the second one would be the second wild card weekend or second round
games
of the
all
playoffs.
day. Yeah, there's games all day, both days.
Right. And then, you kind of sort things out and you get down to the Final Four then and, eventually determine who's going to the Super Bowl, which I thought Gurgles was out of his mind yesterday. Is he really going to make that bet?
The all Pennsylvania part.
Why not just, go out there and tear up a couple of $100 bills?
I don't see either team getting out of the first round.
Yeah, I mean.
And I love Gurgs, but.
Philadelphia doesn't look like much to me. Anybody can win a game. We've seen that when Jacksonville, people laughed at us at suggesting that Jacksonville could beat Indianapolis. We didn't believe that they would.
But you suggested it a lot.
People literally, everybody that we mentioned it to, including Brandon Lang on our Believe podcast, was like, what? What are you out of your mind? I forgot the analogy that he used. It was probably too grotesque to even use in this format. But nonetheless, and nobody thought that Indianapolis would fall in that spot to Jacksonville, a team that had 2 wins and had played even worse football in the following, weeks leading up to that ball game than they had at any time during the season. They had literally fallen into an abyss. They were in the toilet there. So, that anything can happen. I don't know. I haven't been overwhelmingly impressed with the Philadelphia Eagles. They've been okay. I'm impressed to this extent that they've done better than you could have anticipated.
Yeah.
With Jalen Hurts primarily as their starting quarterback, who I did not think was an NFL caliber quarterback, but they run the ball, and who knows? Maybe they catch a couple of breaks and they're actually in that game. A lot of people taking the points with the Philadelphia Eagles among the 9 handicappers that I'm looking at here. We'll have Mark Lawrence later on. He's taking points in a couple of the games that he's going to select for us. That's going to come up later on. And also, we'll have Jersey Kyle joining us here shortly. And he probably would be very proud of us if we had gone ahead with the T-shirt selling campaign. Wow. And the other thing is, if I can unload these T-shirts, I can get those Polyman Easy Baseball T-shirts printed up for the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge with the caricature of the Polyman on it and a little balloon going Easy Baseball. You have the quotes in the balloon there. It comes out of the guy's mouth. They draw it. Yes, and then they have Easy Baseball. So we always wanted to sell those. But I would like to see if we can use this show as somewhat of a human flea market. I might be. I'll dig this shirt out and show you what it looks like, people. And you can call Lubie at the number that we normally use for the trivia challenge and see if you want to buy in. All right, Jersey Kyle's going to join us here shortly. Also on the program today, supposedly, this is in pencil, very light pencil. The professor, maybe with a postscript on the college football season and what happened in the game Did he end up taking Alabama? Because he was
Yes.
all over Alabama
Yes,
all
he
year
took
long.
Alabama pretty solidly. He said, I didn't bet the farm on them, but it was a nice bet. He's like, yeah, that wasn't a great game for me.
Maybe the guest house. That was it.
Exactly.
Some of the cattle.
It was a nice bet. It was a nice bet.
All right. Well, unfortunately, he lost that. But as I was saying yesterday when we had Brandon Lang on our podcast on the Believe Podcast Network, you can't feel like a complete schmuck if you took Alabama in the points in that game. I mean, you were winning the game. You were in a winning position throughout most of that ball game, including even with Georgia driving. You thought that Alabama might be able to hold them to a field goal, in which case they would have won the game by 1 point. And, if they kicked a couple of field goals, they were down 5 at one stage of the game. So a couple of field goals, and you still win. Right?
Yes.
They could have had 2 drives that ended in field goals, which was the way that whole game was being paced and the way it was going. And you still come away with a victory, even if your team doesn't score again. And that's late in the contest. I mean, if you're at that point, taking the underdog, can you really feel stupid that you made that bet? I guess you can when you fork over the money. You going to meet me at 10 o'clock in the graveyard or what?
You can feel sound, but still be, bitter.
You're not always going to be right. Let's face it. In gambling, if you can hit it 60%.
I was going to say 60% a good clip. You're
sports wagers, then you're a winning player overall. And it also depends how you allocate your funds, which that's a subject that we don't often dive into, which would be money management. That's something nobody really wants to discuss, money management. And when people start talking about it, and I tell myself this before I go to the racetrack, every single time I say, I'm not going to do it. I'm not just going to start sending it in right away on the blind because I see that there's a 3 to 5 shot. So I'm going to back wheel in with everybody, in exactas, in trifectas, superfectas, hectafectas, pentafectas, whatever I could come up with. Pick threes. And sure enough, the very first move I make goes exactly against everything I've tried to convince myself to do so that I could do this in a more rational fashion. Is that not true?
100%. 100%.
It's kind of like when you're thinking to yourself, don't miss it when you've got a wide open shot in basketball or whatever you do. Don't swing and miss on this pitch that's coming in. You got some guy that's throwing meatballs up there and you still manage to miss it. Tennis, you're thinking, hey, the one thing I don't want to do is chop one into the net here with some little stupid cut shot. And sure enough, here comes a serve, cut shot, boom, top of the net. Oh, man, I thought I had it. You can definitely psych yourself out doing virtually anything in this lifetime, and it's especially applicable to sports and to money management, which is kind of a filthy topic for a lot of people, is it not? Mike Lubitz, you ever hear anybody talking about money management? Gambling?
Gambling? No, Gambler show.
No, of course
in
not,
the world,
right?
They do Gambler style.
If you were managing your money, it would be in some stock portfolio. Yeah, it wouldn't be necessarily going on the Knicks because they got Cam Reddish. All right, Jersey's going to join us here in a few minutes. We have a lot to discuss with Jersey Kyle, including the upcoming trip to Las Vegas, which is booked, and we're ready to go. The National Handicapping Championship, Evan, don't mention my name, got this seat by winning the Hialeah tournament that took place like 2 years ago.
Nice.
And he hasn't used it yet because there were postponements and COVID-19 considerations and all kinds of crazy stuff. So he's out there with a chance to win $1 million or going out there, while Jersey and I sit on the sidelines and just say, how you doing in the contest there, Evan? And, he doesn't say much anyway. He's sort of expressionless about a lot of this stuff. But those are the guys that are dangerous.
Yes.
The silent types.
Yep.
Not the guy that's screaming, yeah, I had it. I told you the 3 couldn't lose.
No, the quiet ones are the ones you got to fear.
Subtly comes up to you and said, I had 300 on the 6.
Exactly.
I just paid $83.60. So
exactly.
He's a danger out there. That's going to be fun. And then I told you, this could be a wild. The next couple of weeks, fine. We're in our routine. We're trying to get things established again after, the holidays kind of blow everybody out of their rhythm. And now it's sort of time now to get back in tune. Is it not, Mike Lubitz? What do you feel like?
Yes.
Back in our rhythm.
I am, at least. I don't know what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, you got to make the push here. Life is short. And if you're ever going to make it, do it now. That would be the philosophy. Why wait for tomorrow? You may not have. Tomorrows are not guaranteed. Just ask.
This has beaten my head. The future and the past don't exist.
Don't exist.
The present is real.
That's it. Yeah. You've got to.
Present the best we can.
Get on top of it right away. But the turnaround could be quick. And I have to do this if the opportunity, comes up where Green Bay wins its first playoff game. If they win that first playoff game, I immediately have to book like a flight somewhere near Green Bay, Wisconsin, right?
Oh, the funny thing is, it's actually Saturday, the weekend of the 30th, January 30th, is when the conference championship games are.
That's the okay.
Because there's the Super Bowl is like the middle of February this year. It's freaking weird.
I think it's a week after by my calculations.
I looked it up. It's January 30th.
Because Packers are off this week. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Sunday the 30th. The 31st.
So we can't make it anyway because we'll be in Vegas.
You do it because you have your Vegas.
Yeah. All right, that's off the table then. The NFC Championship game at Lambeau Field. We just blew that.
I know.
You're not going to fly out to Vegas and then get there and be there 2 days and then fly to Wisconsin, then fly back to Vegas or something. I know that would be ridiculous. All right, we miscalculated on that thing. Sorry, Mark. So now I have to root for Green Bay to lose, so I don't feel badly about missing the opportunity to go to Lambeau for the NFC Championship game.
It's like when you
screwed up.
And they're not covering, so you're like, "Fuck it, I just want them to lose now."
No, I need them to. I need them to go down in flames, like this microphone keeps doing to me. If this thing sags any lower, I'm going to be speaking through my. Back in the day, women would accuse you of that, right? That's the only head that's doing any thinking on your anatomy. All right, we're coming back with Jersey Kyle here as this thing sags into Bolivian, as Mike Tyson would say. In just a moment on Ion Channel. Always great to be on Ion Channel. Jeff DeForrest, Mike Lubitz. I'm going to try and get a demo going on the T-shirts here so we can unload a few and see if we can sell a couple on the show. Is that okay with you,
I'm
Lubie?
ready, yeah. I like that shirt. I meant to get a couple from you. Shirley and I are all in.
You're not getting any freebies if I can sell these things. So.
I'll wear it. I'll wear it on the show.
I just don't know if I can make an adequate presentation to show the spectacular nature of these things. And everybody comments on them, though. It's
cool.
Infallible, right? If I wear this shirt outside somewhere, somebody's going to go ahead and say, "Hey, I really like that shirt. How can I get one?" So we're going to show you the way. All right, coming back with Jersey Kyle on a Deel Volkswagen Degenerate Friday here on Ion Channel. I don't know where you got this mic stand from, Lubie, but you got robbed whenever you bought this thing. It looks very sophisticated, but it doesn't hold a thing. It's amazing how I have struggled with this thing. All right, we're coming back with more here on Ion Channel. Don't forget, Hialeah Park, just a beautiful place to punch away. This is great. Our Vegas trip largely triggered by what happened at Hialeah Park when Evan came from behind and in the final race won the championship at the satellite tournament for the NHC. That got him an entry and airfare for two and a hotel room out in Las Vegas and a freebie entry into the $10,000 buy-in National Handicapping Championship. These are the kind of miracles that happen at Hialeah Park. You've got the Royal Reels. They're spinning out of control there. Steve Calabro, he doesn't know what to... Attendant over there. Right? And it's not to fix the machine. It's to go ahead and make a massive payoff there. $14,000, $15,000, $20,000 at a crack. Just amazing what's going on in the casino. That is a hopping casino where you always hear and feel like a vibe, like people are winning, people are into it, people are in the spirit there in anticipation of success, not just going in there for the usual bludgeoning, which happens at a lot of places, right? I mean, you're already resigned to losing. Well, these machines never pay. Not the case at Hialeah Park. I mean, almost, it seems like every half hour somebody's making a giant score in there. Fantastic. Then the Champion Simulcasting Room, great way to punch away on the races, perfect atmosphere. If you're looking to go out there and bang away a couple of pick sixes and or just bet some exactas, whatever you want to do. Champions is perfectly pointed for the horse player with and even the Vegas race books, as nice as they are. Really, Champions would rival any of them, if not eclipse any of the accommodations that you're normally looking for when you're a horse player. That's happening at Hialeah Park. Poker room is great. And the boxing coming up January 28th, which now that we booked this trip, it's, obviously prohibitive that I would make it down there. But I'm going to miss it. That's for sure. And I'm sending you down in my place.
I'm going to go, yes. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
I mean, if I was here, I would love to be there. This came up at the last minute here. So, but it's happening January 28th. You can be there, and you can tell us about it here on the show just by buying tickets at HialeahPark.com. That's the place to go. And you're going to see great, great fights. I mean, electrifying stuff that goes on there. There's never been a card. They've had I want to say 3 or 4 shows at Hialeah Park that we've attended. boxing matches and boxing shows and boxing cards, and there's never been one that didn't have at least one and maybe more absolutely electrifying fights. I mean, where the result was hard to predict, and you saw just tremendous bell-to-bell action. So they know how to stage a card. There is the point that we're making, and so make sure you get your tickets there. Great seats all over the place. It's January 28th at Hialeah Park. The boxing is going to be sensational. All right, we're coming back with Jersey Kyle, trying to dig him up. The professor is a potential guest here on the show to talk about the college football game. And
also the Dolphins. He's a Dolphin fan. So
that's right, yeah.
Coaching choices. He hated Flores. He thought Flores was a conspiracy theorist, or he was a conspiracy theorist with Flores, so he's dancing.
It was a plan from the Patriots to ruin the organization. He did help set them back, right?
He sort of
coaches here 3 years, shows you some promise, and then they pull the plug on the guy.
Yeah, that's about right.
Maybe they didn't want to admit that was the case, that they found out that it was Belichick all along. Exactly. Is that possible? But anyway, nonetheless, Brian Flores, by the way, now depicted as the leading candidate for the Houston Texans job. Under the theory that the Texans front office has Patriot ties, so they're familiar with Brian Flores, and that Deshaun Watson also wanted to be traded to Miami because he wanted to play for Flores. So makes some sense there, and they know what they're dealing with in Brian Flores. I mean, what is it? Cesario is the guy's name, the GM there?
Cesario, that was with the Patriots for a long time, is the Texans GM.
Long-time Patriot. Other guys there at the Texans organization have ties to the Patriots. So that's a possibility because they also waited to fire that guy Cully until after Flores had been fired, which is another curious point. You figure he would get whacked right away if he was going, right? They didn't know like 2 days before they were going to fire the guy.
He did a good job, too. That's what's funny.
Hard to tell. I mean, they won 4 games, I think, but
they
had a couple of times where they were a little bit competitive after being in the toilet. I mean, how can you really judge that guy on what happened with Houston this year? They lost everybody. So anyway, that's the story. Brian Flores possibly to the Houston Texans because of ties that he's already had in the past, circa the New England Patriots. Dave Hyde also going to be with us here on the program on a Deel Volkswagen Degenerate Friday, brought to you by the people at Gulfstream Park. And we'll be back with more in a moment. Now that.
The time.
Let's see if I can dig up one of those shirts and make a reasonable presentation. It is, what is it? It's 7:27.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation location, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. Their hours have changed a little bit. Monday through Thursday from 3:30 to 10, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11:30 to 10. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar, and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine foods served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time. When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not, because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread in town. All at Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone when you can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side?
Hey, it's Mike Mayo, the Gambling Gourmet here for my friends over at Shenanigans Sports Pub. It's a great place to go to take in a game, a good meal, and a couple of drinks. My friend Patrick, he's been doing it a long time, and he's got 2 locations. West Side is right across from TY Park in Hollywood. And then the East Side location is at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Shenanigans is the place for wings, burgers, barbecue, fresh fish, anything you want, drink specials, late night dining, outdoor dining. It is the place to go, family friendly. Go to Shenanigans and tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Hear me. I am your new president. From this day on, the official language of San Marcos will be Swedish. Silence! In addition to that, all citizens will be required to change their underwear every half hour. Underwear will be worn on the outside so we can check. Furthermore, all children under 16 years old are now 16 years old.
What's the Spanish word for straitjacket? Power has driven him mad.
Welcome back to the Defo Show.
Welcome back to the show. Morning once again, everybody. A Deel Volkswagen Degenerate Friday. We are searching for one Jersey Kyle Martinez, who normally is a big part of this program, but he is out and about on the road and actually doing his regular job.
Sadly.
He's going into the building department for the permits. He always does that lean in on the girl that issues the permits. that hitting move that he used to make in bars all the time and at racetracks. When he does the lean, then you know he's interested in the girl. And they buy it too. The blue eyes. He bats the blue eyes at these poor unsuspecting women that don't realize what a total freak show this guy's life is. But anyway, we'll try and catch up with him at some point during the program. That's always fun. The Gambling Gourmet, Mike Mayo, who's all over town, is going to join us in the last hour of the program here, as we'll take you up until about 9:30 Eastern with this edition of the Deel Volkswagen Degenerate Friday show on ION Channel and streaming audio and video all around the world. Gambling Gourmet, Mike Mayo, going to join us. And wow, he's going to be... I mean, if this guy doesn't blow a gasket, or much less a kidney, but by the end of today, then it'll never happen.
That's
we're going to do that. You're joining us, right?
I'm going to
be
us
for this afternoon show
on site, yes, for Mike Mayo's lunchbox. And then tonight he has the thing out east. Like, when is he going to stop eating?
Fort Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. I'm sure I'll want to talk about that. Yes, and that's the barbecue battle.
Oh, my God.
It's a poolside barbecue battle with all of these highfalutin barbecue people. I mean, it's like Bobby Flay on up.
Oh, my God.
Flay, I don't even think Flay could get into this thing. Guy Fieri, he would have trouble, making his way into this competition here. So 10 top barbecue places from around town and some very famous chefs are involved, are going to be battling it out to see who puts out the best barbecue tonight at a poolside thing. Now, think about this, and you've judged these sort of things.
Yes.
And it seems innocuous enough. Yeah, I'm just going to take one small bite of each thing. But when they bring you like 30 different types of chicken wings, and you made the mistake, Lubie, when you were judging this thing at the Doc Reno deal, of devouring all of them in their entirety because you didn't want to see food go to waste.
Exactly.
Maybe something that your mother had told you. People are starving in India.
Yes, I grew up with that my whole life. Finish what you have in front of your plate. Yes.
Well, you certainly do a good job of that. I mean,
yeah, but when you do those things and they give you 25 wings.
My dog doesn't finish off a plate of ice cream as well as you, devour this food. But the Fort Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival is taking place here in town. And, Mayo is a judge of the barbecue competition, which means at the very least, I know there are 10 entrants in the barbecue battle. So he's going to be eating portions of at least 10 different types of barbecue. And this could be all kinds of different stuff, right? I guess anything from ribs to brisket and what would be standard barbecue fare, maybe even a sloppy Joe thrown in there or whatever. But
Oh my God.
nonetheless, and we've talked to a couple of the people that are involved in that competition on the Mike Mayo's Lunchbox radio show that we do. And I mean, it sounds wild. I don't know. I mean, how could you eat 10 portions of anything? That and that after eating lunch, a freebie lunch at this place called the Cut Above, which is also in Fort Lauderdale, which puts out like outrageous looking food. So, got to be tough on Mayo. We'll see. We'll see what he looks like, before this thing gets started. Maybe we should do a before and after Mayo picture today. But we'll try that. All right. This is not going to be a good representation of the shirt, but I didn't want to talk about it at such great length and then not at least attempt to give you an idea of what it looks like, Lubie. So you tell me what you think. This is a wrinkled version of the shirt that I pulled out of my laundry basket.
Is it that dirty that you don't want to unfold it? Like it's that dirty.
It belong in the trash almost the way this thing is used. But there it is. It says fully vaccinated on it. I don't know if you can see that. And there's a syringe as the exclamation point. All right. Fully vaccinated and a syringe. Now we have those in white with black lettering. And also, my preferred version is the black with white lettering, fully vaccinated T-shirts. All right, so if you want one, give Lubie a call. Give me information where we can contact you at what? You want to use that number? 954-417-0070. He's really doing it? Hey, why not, right?
I think they're
fully
great.
vaccinated T-shirts. Always get great comments. Now, I wish I could have worn this thing, but I would have had to wash it and then probably even iron it. But and they don't shrink a lot. This is not some cheapo piece of material. Like I remember, I used to go down to the Bahamas, Lubie. Did you ever have that experience? And you would buy the 3 T-shirts for $10.
They're the worst. They disintegrate.
Literally, I mean, like threadbare. Like you've never seen it. You throw them in the wash one time, and it's over.
That's it.
They should just be calling them 3 disposable T-shirts for $10.
It's like the cameras. You throw it away after you use it. You wear it once.
Just chuck it right in the trash. It would have been better off, even with my balding head, having my hair braided, than buying a T-shirt. So, and they always look great. I mean, when you first put them on, you were like, "Yeah, man, don't I look cool?" Down there in the Bahamas with a shirt with a parrot on it and a little slogan. They have parrots on the shirt there. That would be more a Key West thing. But anyway, these are high quality, very high quality. So we're taking $20 for it, a portion of which goes to the Las Vegas Foundation, which will help fund the trip that Jersey Kyle and I are going to take with Evan out there to the National Handicapping Championship, which should be, that's going to be a 4-day degenerate bloodbath for me. And then it will also encompass a playoff football weekend, which will make it all the more entertaining to be out in Las Vegas, because there's nothing like watching a game with a bunch of sick degenerates who have money on it, like all assembled into a giant and very luxuriously appointed room, as say the sports book would be at any of the better hotels in Las Vegas. There are a couple of old, you're talking about real old school sports books still left out there on the Strip, like the Flamingo.
Yes. Yep.
Real shitty sports book.
How do they survive? Because the MGM's fucking great. The Mirage is great. There's all these books that are amazing. Like, how do
even the MGM, which used to be like, the mothership of sports books when they first put it together, they kind of shifted gears a little bit, and it's not as palatial as it once was. The best one, I think, in terms of just having like a giant, broad scope perspective on what level of degeneracy you're at, where you have a lot of room to roam around, but I mean they really do it right, is at the Mirage. I like the one at the Mirage, but there's one downtown now that's supposed to be it's called is it Circa? And I think it's Circa, and it's in downtown, which was just a decrepit dump of an area in Las Vegas for a long time, Fremont Street. And, you almost, be suspect to even consider going down there. And they've rebuilt that whole thing. And now it's a destination of choice for a lot of people. And the Circa is supposed to be the colossal sportsbook and gambling environment anywhere on the planet. I didn't get a chance to go in there because they actually do a very limited job of horse race simulcasting. So of what value is it to me? But, the Circa is supposed to be the best one now, and nice. I don't know that I'm heading down there.
And that was
I mean, they got like theaters and,
Yeah.
you're out there at the pool and they have scantily clad babes serving drinks. What more could you ask for, man? I mean, could I do not an alcoholic, but a gambling version of Leaving Las Vegas and kind of be the Nick Cage character? Is that not the way to go out the door, Lubie?
Yes. Should you? Probably no.
You shut yourself in a little room like a cheesy hotel, sort of off the strip there, and then all you have is like racing forms and gold sheets and facts and figures, and you're on the phone constantly with people that you think have a decent opinion on these games, much like we're trying to provide for you here, where we'll also feature Mark Lawrence. So what do you think Mark Lawrence goes with today? Are there leaking oil theories that apply in the playoffs in the National Football League? What theories would be applicable?
Oh, the theory?
Yeah.
Redheaded step. I always love the leaking oil is an easy one. Redheaded stepchild is why I
That's the one I like. Yeah, where the team feels like it's not being respected and has just been getting spanked around, and all of a sudden they're going to rise up and say, "Yeah, you know what? It was me. It was me that made you what you are today." Yeah, but we'll see. I don't know who would be the redheaded stepchild in this one.
I feel like the Niners.
Philadelphia Eagles? No, they're just an underdog. Yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Eagles, I guess because I don't really believe the Eagles or Steelers are going to win. I would say the Niners because they actually have a chance at winning. Like he usually picks an underdog that's not like far-fetched because he actually wants to win.
A lot of people like the Niners in that ballgame, Lubie. I don't know. I'm not feeling the Niners for some reason, but
they played well at the end of the season. That's what it is. We're out in the East. We don't get a lot of Niners stuff, and they're boring. They're not high-flying, so you don't see highlights. They played really well the last month or so.
The Cowboys, though, I mean, are capable, are they not? At home?
They have talent.
The 49ers?
They have plenty of talent. I just don't trust them. Like, I don't trust Dak, and I don't trust...
Kellen Moore is the hot commodity in the coaching ranks right now, the young guy that's getting a lot of attention. Although, I don't know, does Kellen Moore end up... Here's a good one for you, Lubie. I'll give you a prop bet. Does Kellen Moore end up the offensive coordinator of the Cowboys, 33 years old, former quarterback in the National Football League, but was not of much distinction as a QB. We've seen those kind of guys, right, become very good, very successful. Was Gary Kubiak one of the great quarterbacks ever to lace it up in the National Football League? No. Became, a pretty good head coach. Frank Reich, I don't know. What do you think of Frank Reich after he lost that game to Jacksonville?
I think he's a solid coach. He's just gone screw with the quarterback.
Yeah, but I mean, as I guess, what was he, an OC before he became a head coach?
Yes.
To great acclaim.
He's with the Eagles.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, look, it's not always the great quarterback that ends up making, the best head coach or offensive coordinator or quarterbacks coach even. But Kellen Moore, does he end up with a job? That's the question.
No.
7 job openings. Does Kellen Moore land one of them?
Not this cycle. No.
No? All right.
I don't think so.
Josh McDaniel, does he leave New England?
McDaniel's weird because Belichick is getting near the end. And if anyone's going to be his predecessor, it's going to be McDaniel.
How do you know he's getting near the end, though? He doesn't seem to be.
He's in his 70s. Like at some point he's got, right or no?
Stop thinking like that. Yeah, I'm in my 70s.
Well, yeah, but you wake up and
I am getting near the end, that's for sure.
And you still are talking about the end. This dude's working 18-hour days, Bill Belichick. Like, I feel like he leads a different life than you lead.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, but if you're consumed, like, I mean, I don't understand this. I mean, I love doing broadcasting, and I've always liked what I've been doing in this business for forever. It hasn't been like having a real job. Even though, you have to show up, right? I mean, that's one of the tenets of broadcasting. You have to be there. And there's no excuse, right? You can't show up 15 minutes late and say, hey, I'm here. Do we ever get to that stage where we can afford to do that, Lubie? Just come in when we feel like it?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
I don't know. That's not our thing.
All right. Well, all I'm saying is there's a minor amount of discipline that's involved in even this job. But the kind of dedication, I don't understand that, where a guy is just absolutely consumed by what it is that he does, which is that true of Belichick as a football coach, or are we just misreading that? Because Jimmy Johnson has him out on his boat all the time, going fishing, and supposedly Belichick is a hoot.
Probably a good dude.
From the football environment.
Like, he's probably a good guy off the field.
Right. So is he laughing at us all that we all think that he's so all in that he has no other dimensions to his persona?
I don't know. I think
Not sure.
I don't know.
But I mean, a lot of people say the same thing, and I'm beginning to resign myself to this line of thinking, and that is, why would you quit doing what you're doing? I mean, what are you going to do after that? So you sleep a little later. I mean, is that going to help you maintain all of your capacities at the levels that you would like them to be at, so that you're not pronounced dead on arrival every time you show up somewhere? Right? I mean, doesn't it pay? Look, Vince Scully, right? Almost to his grave. Bob Murphy, to his grave.
Yeah.
Great announcers that, why give it up? Marv Albert, I don't know. Did he really want to retire?
Probably not.
Couldn't he just filled in like a nice 20-game package somewhere with TNT? You don't think? I don't know. Maybe he was tired of the thing, but he had been doing it like at an insane level. I mean, when you hear the travel schedules and the things, I mean, it's not that easy to just get up and go all the time like that at like 80 years old. But, you're still seeing Hubie Brown, right? Will he ever retire? I don't think so.
Probably not, no.
That's the 16th possession where they've taken a three-point shot as the first shot and then gotten an offensive rebound, which they're doing 27% of the time, that the ball has gone into the post when playing the triangle offense. It's like, what? How does he do it, man? 90 years old. He's still, barking that stuff out. All right, so we're coming back with more. You say the professor is on board to join us?
Yes. So we got to break now because we have him. Hyde has a tight schedule, and then we have Mark Lawrence.
Very nice. All right. I think you had that in reverse, though, Lubie, but we'll have the
No,
professor
it's
come
moved
up in just a
around. That's
moment
why. Yeah, it's moved around. We're going to do Ken, then we're going to do Hyde, and then Mark Lawrence. So we got to.
All right. That sounds good. All right. We'll have the professor joining us. We're not sure what his agenda is because there's no more college football. But maybe a postscript on the college football game and whatever it is. I'm sure he'll somehow get into a rant about. Do we have the ability to cut it off if he goes too far out there on the Boston team?
But I won't.
All right. Well, so you have more liberties here, although we always like to keep things within the parameters. I mean, Ion Channel has standards. Yeah. Ours may be low, but they have standards. Although, in the beginning, Jack was encouraging us to get more out there on the edge. So maybe it's a whole different ballgame here. So we'll see if the professor challenges the limits of good taste here on the program. All right, we're coming back with that. And Dave Hyde also on the local scene here in South Florida with Brian Flores and the Dolphins. And I believe he's deemed that somewhat of a mess. So we'll talk with him also on the program. And the Gambling Gourmet later on. Back with more in a moment. Now that.
The time.
It's 7:47.
Since day one of Old School, we've had Catholic Health Services be part of our family. They are recognized as the quintessential rehab facility in the Southeast for strokes, but it goes well beyond strokes because Catholic Health Services is in the community of South Florida to help the community stay healthy. And if they're not healthy, get them healthy and get them back on their feet quicker than they could have ever expected. They do it every single day. It's step and repeat 24/7. Catholic Health Services.
The championship meet is right around the corner at Gulfstream Park. The only place for live racing, Gulfstream's action has never been hotter. Whether it's on the track, in the casino, or part of the dining and entertainment offered at the Village of Gulfstream Park. Currently running Thursday through Sunday, Gulfstream's racing package is the best in the country, with all the top horses and people in the game pointing towards another tremendous winter season. Check out the remodeled first floor casino, open 7 days and nights a week, along with the many special events and concerts happening at Gulfstream Park. You can place your wagers from anywhere at firstbet.com. Check the calendar of events at gulfstreampark.com.
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deel Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deel a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deel Volkswagen. Florida, which is in the state of Florida, has been in the Stone Age forever. I mean, we're still operating by blue laws. I don't even know if you can buy a beer before 12 o'clock on a Sunday. I'm not sure what religious cult is responsible for the legislation that takes place, but essentially Florida is structured this way. We're here in South Florida, which is very hip and up with modern times. And once you get, would you say, north of Palm Beach, Mike Lubitz, West Palm Beach, Florida, for those unfamiliar with the geography of the state, if you get like 30 miles out of town here, forget about it. It's hillbilly city. You're hearing banjo music and somebody's telling you to squat down like a pig when you pull up to the Waffle House. It's just the way it is.
The modern day odd couple, Defo and Lubie, are on now. It is, of course, the Defo Show.
Welcome back to the show. Deel Volkswagen Degenerate Friday, brought to you by the great people at Gulfstream Park. Championship meet is on. There are scores to be made. So make your plans to make it part of your weekend itinerary, whether it's today, tomorrow, Sunday, to head on out to Gulfstream Park and have a great time out there. Going to be some beautiful weather. So a perfect time to get out to Gulfstream Park and enjoy playing the ponies. I know this gentleman enjoys it every time he gets out there. And it's interesting because Lubie said the professor wants to come on a show. And I'm thinking, okay, what kind of scathing indictment about Belichick will he be delivering? Because the college football season is over. But we were both delivered, Professor, my understanding is both of us were delivered a little bit of a blow when the Devil, unfortunately, was beaten and Alabama lost to the points. How are you, Professor? Thanks for joining us here on the show.
I am, despite that loss, excellent, Defo. And I wanted to come on today because, of course, it is a glorious day. It is a glorious week. And I wanted to give you the opportunity to apologize to me for making fun of everything I've said about Brian Flores for the last 3 years, when all of it has turned out to be 100% true and confirmed by various sources around the league. So I want to give you the opportunity to tell me how correct I have been for the last 3 years, and how wrong you were for referring it to things like a conspiracy theory or imagined or anything like that. Just, again, I have been 100% correct about everything.
Sort of has.
I sense a smell of sabotage might be associated with this. As, not only does Brian Flores come here and put the organization into a complete state of chaos and make them all look like fools in the end, but then he probably goes and coaches Deshaun Watson to a Super Bowl next year, mowing down Miami somewhere during the season in the process.
Yeah, that's going to happen. He's going to go to a different franchise other than the Patriots to be successful with Deshaun Watson. He's going to go to Houston and personally frame Deshaun Watson for rape.
All right. I mean, I have to admit, there may have been, and you're saying it's a certainty that it's been confirmed by Locke and Fora and Schefter and all of these people that Flores indeed was a plant from the New England organization here just to wreak havoc with the Dolphins. I mean, as dysfunctional as they were, I mean, they became more dysfunctional with Brian Flores, both with his presence and now his departure.
Well, what we have is a report from Mike Florio saying, as I don't know, someone down here on local radio saying that Brian Flores was personally responsible for blowing the tank, that he was told by the organization to start Josh Rosen for the entire year and lose football games, and he personally refused to do that, that he was the one. Now, someone down here said that and said he was down here to ruin the franchise, but nobody wanted to listen. And then we have had it confirmed from several sources that Brian Flores for the last 2 years has done everything he could personally do to destroy Tua Tagovailoa, to destroy his confidence, to bench him, to try to impede his progress. That has been reported not just locally, but nationally by multiple sources, which again, somebody was saying 2.5 years ago, but I don't want to, I'm not the type to brag or pat myself on the back, but I'm pretty sure I heard somebody saying exactly that was what was going to happen.
I have to admit, Professor, the more you speak of this and the more things are outlined and uncovered by the postscript to Brian Flores' coaching career here, the more relevant to all of your theories seem to be. And, maybe we do owe you one giant apology. You were the only one saying this, by the way. There was nobody else that would even remotely stipulated to some of the absurdities it seemed that you were laying out about Brian Flores being a plant from the New England Patriots, sent just down here by Belichick to ruin this organization. And yet 3 years later, where are we?
Ruined.
In a complete state of ruin.
Ruined. He was right. Everything. He literally is on the sideline telling Tua he sucks. Like, what coach does that?
Yes. Yeah.
You suck, Tua.
He did. He sabotaged him, and he made the organization look even more ridiculous when we watched Justin Herbert rifle a pass from 25 yards out in between two defenders who had vice-like coverage on his lone wide receiver, who makes the catch for the game-tying touchdown, what turned out to be, the game-tying score. As time expires, a throw that Tua, well, I guess he did make it in college, so maybe you were right about that. I don't know. What do you think, Professor? Is this kid without Flores, does he have any chance of making it, or is he already in a mental state of disability where he will never be a good quarterback in the league?
I hope so. I think the inevitable thing is that he will end up going to another franchise because the Miami Dolphins brought in a coach who was here to destroy him, and was good for another team. But I hope, we make intelligent hiring, a.k.a. nobody who has ever been in the same room with Bill Belichick.
He got over on us again, man. He may have lost 2 games to this guy.
Yes, hopefully we can see progress from Tua this year. Yes, by the way, going back to the national championship game, I was stunned. Stetson Bennett, I thought, played the half of his career in the second half of that game. Yeah. Obviously, I was shocked. But I would like to point out that the other one, North Dakota State, won in a total blowout, laying 7.5, and I believe they won by 35. So, we were actually 1-1 on championship games.
Hey, as I was saying, you don't have to feel like a schmo if you had Alabama getting the points there. They were in perfect position to go ahead and at the very least beat the point spread. Throughout, the guy makes 2 miracle passes. One, in a complete wrestling match, step over toe hold. The guy was in. They caught the pass in the end zone for Georgia, and that other one where the guy's wide open, but he has to lay out like Lynn Swan, and and he gathers that ball in, and a very, very tough catch and throw. So a couple of miracle plays were the only things that really beat you in that ball game. Professor, we have to run now. We got Dave Hyde coming up. He's on a tight schedule because things are breaking. News is breaking. And we want to, share that with our viewers and listeners here on the show. Right on the money. We owe you all of the respect in the world.
Literally everything.
He who is willing to proliferate an absurd theory and sell it as if there was a conviction behind it, turns out to be right. Yeah. That's great, man. Good work, Professor. Thank you.
Our inside reporter.
Y'all have a great one.
We love you.
Go Bills.
Go Bills. Yes, thank God, go Bills.
He was saying this. It was Martini all along. Yeah.
Wow. Look, and everything we've heard after has been stuff that would be inclined to make you think, huh?
Belichick. It was Belichick all along. Dave Hyde coming up next. Dave Hyde, for those unfamiliar with the South Florida columnist, is a brilliant sports writer. Been in South Florida at the Sun Sentinel for, I want to say, is it approaching 30?
I don't know about 30,
25 years, maybe? Yeah, something in that category. Yeah. I've known Dave, it seems like forever, going back to covering like original Heat games in 1988-89 with the great Dave Hyde on the scene, asking all the right questions. So we'll find out what he knows. What does he know, and when did he know it? Yes. About Brian Flores and the Dolphins' organizational unrest. That's coming up in a moment here on Ion Channel. Jack Namer, man, doing it again. Amy, always wonderful being with these people and the affiliation. And, of course, Brad Schiller helped me out again yesterday. Technical wizard, this guy. Did you try turning your computer on? Oh, that was the problem. All right, back with Dave Hyde in a moment. Now that.
The time.
7:59.
Seville in Fort Lauderdale. It's one of my favorite places. It is old school joint that's serving Spanish and classic continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly setting. It's at 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. They're open every day except Sunday for dinner, starting at 5 p.m. You go in there, you see Joey and his better half Sally. They are giving the greatest in service. And the food, oh my gosh, it's paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, stuffed veal chop. They serve this great, fantastic, warm sourdough bread. Go to Cafe Seville in Fort Lauderdale and tell them that the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time. When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not, because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread in town. All at Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse. Since day one of Old School, we've had Catholic Health Services be part of our family. They are recognized as the quintessential rehab facility in the Southeast for strokes, but it goes well beyond strokes, because Catholic Health Services is in the community of South Florida to help the community stay healthy. And if they're not healthy, get them healthy and get them back on their feet quicker than they could have expected. They do it every single day. It's step and repeat 24/7. Catholic Health Services.
I mean, if you look at our organization today, and you've seen what we've done, from every aspect except on the playing field, we're probably the first-class organization in the National Football League.
It's now time for the Defo Show.
Welcome back to the show here on Ion Channel, the Defo Show. Of course, Mike Lubitz with you. And I'll be with you today an extended period of time, as we always do on these Deel Volkswagen Degenerate Fridays, brought to you by Gulfstream Park. I'll be with you till 9:30 Eastern Time this morning. And the Gambling Gourmet, Mike Mayo, one of the contemporaries of this next gentleman, is going to be a big part of that last hour of the program. He had some oddball thoughts on the Brian Flores dismissal by the Miami Dolphins. Now, there are 7 open positions, so it's not uncommon on Black Friday for the axe to come down on any number of coaches. But I think as we welcome Dave Hyde, outstanding Sun Sentinel columnist, and has it been 25? Dave, I'm trying to figure out how many years I've seen you on the local scene covering sports.
Well, I came here in '85, Defo.
Wow. Okay.
Started writing a column. I got the column offer at the Earthquake World Series in '89. So, how time flies. I wish it was only 25, but I'm not good with math. That's about 36 years.
What is that? 15 plus 21. That's 36.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a long run.
Me being 42, but that's how it is.
Well, I got into the chronology a little bit to try and add a little perspective because, I got here in like 1982, 81, I think. And sure enough, I mean, I have never been quite as blindsided by, any change that was made in the Dolphins organization as I was when Brian Flores, winner of 8 of 9, to close out the season, 2 wins over the Patriots, 4-2, I believe, inside the AFC East. And winning with a bunch, of guys that 2 years back, I mean, were lower than bag ladies, and demonstrating the ability to kind of get these guys through a season. All of a sudden, he was fired. I don't know. I mean, have you seen anything? I guess when Ron Rothstein resigned as the coach of the Miami Heat, and same thing happened with Stan Van Gundy, who said he wanted to take his kid to Disney World. We all knew that Shaq hated him or whatever that was. But this one kind of came out of nowhere. I don't know. In your years of covering sports in South Florida, I mean, was that as much of a surprise as anything that has happened down here?
This is a strange one because, for instance, on Sunday, after Sunday's game, my column was Steve Ross has a decision to make here. Is he going to keep Greer and Flores? To be honest, I knew there was a decision to be made, but I thought the decision was more on Greer. Yep. And if they keep him as general, or if they don't keep him as general manager, do they take Flores out too? Look, there were issues with everybody. Flores didn't get along with people. We knew that. I mean, go to his first training camp, 4 days in, he fires a coach, trades Minka Fitzpatrick, on his third offensive coordinator this year, and probably be on his 4th next year if he'd stayed. So
I mean, it was pretty well known. I mean, you hire Bill Belichick, the disciple, and this is what you get. So, but I haven't heard anything that said, oh, he's an awful guy. He's a tough guy to get along with. Yes, but, you know, I also wrote a column, look, there have been a lot of tough guys to get along with inside the Dolphins, starting with Don Shula at times. So, I was surprised he was fired, not shocked.
Dave Hyde with us here on Ion Channel on the Defo Show. Well, I mean, it was kind of interesting as, you know, we just had the professor on, and for 2.5 years, or 3 years, he's been proliferating the idea that Belichick planted Flores here to disrupt the Dolphins organization and completely trigger a move towards being 100% dysfunctional. And if you look at where they're at after 3 years of Flores,
isn't that off?
I mean, they're right back where they didn't want to be. Is the thing that strikes me: quarterback issues, offensive line, mediocrity doesn't sell. We know that. You know, the distinction of winning 7 in a row after losing 7 in a row means that you had to lose 7 in a row at some point, including one to Jacksonville, for God's sake. So, you know, I mean, I don't know what a great distinction that is, but yeah, it does seem like maybe, you know, things are a much bigger mess today than they were, and how fixable and immediately so do you see? What do you see as a solution out there? Because I thought they had hired Jim Harbaugh when they let Flores go, but that apparently is not the case and may never be.
Yeah, that was my second question to people in the Dolphins. Is it Jim Harbaugh? First question after Flores was gone is Chris Greer staying?
Yeah.
The question with Flores was his offense. Okay, his offensive staff. He couldn't get it right, and that led to, you know, a bad scoring offense this year. And you know, it wasn't just him; it was the personnel. Okay, I mean, that's a whole. That's been the year-long topic kind of for but the question moving forward then is, okay, how do you solve that? And it looks like they're all in on Tua the way they're talking. So I would assume they're going to get an offensive-minded guy, maybe Brian Dable, who was Tua's coach at Alabama for a year. You know, and I guess the question is, do you cater to one person like that? I would hope not. I would hope you know, nobody caters to anybody like that. Green Bay doesn't cater to Aaron Rodgers. Belichick certainly didn't cater to Tom Brady. So, look, you gotta help Tua, but get the best guy to help him, I would assume, and how do you do that? You know, Steve Ross has bigger questions than just who the coach is. The question is, how is he going to structure this now? He's had, you know, they talk about communication and collaboration with Flores. They've had those problems since Ross got on a jet and went with Jeff Reynolds to try to get Jim Harbaugh. I mean that ruined the relationship with Tony Soprano in Ireland, and you go right down the line through all the regimes, and it's amazing the dysfunction in this franchise of people not talking to each other, meaning the coach not talking to the GM typically.
I love it. I mean, it's great because this was always an organization in the Shula era, and I was reminiscent about this with a couple of people that were around, Harvey Fialkoff and Mike Mayo. I don't know if Mayo was here when, you know, you used to sit at St. Thomas University and you'd be at the table with Don Shula while the team was having lunch. And he'd just be literally like shooting the shit with people. And you're thinking at that time there was a face and an identity to the organization, and it was just like clear cut. And it works for a lot of teams and organizations. And the Miami Heat being a prime example under Pat Riley. I mean, you know, this whole Heat culture thing, while it's kind of vague, I mean, there is something to it. And there was with Shula, but the Dolphins have been scrambling for that forever. And Stephen Ross doesn't seem to be able to put his finger on the pulse of exactly what he wants the identity of this franchise to be and how he's going to bring it about.
Yeah, and look, Heisinger didn't win like he wanted to, but he made the right hires. I mean,
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson, Jimmy turned around a lot of things with this franchise, inherited a mess. Then you got Nick Saban. Everybody wanted to hire Nick Saban, and you see why.
Yep.
It just didn't work out with the Dolphins. Then Bill Parcells, whatever you thought of him, it was a professional organization. So you see Wayne's hires were good. Name one hire that Ross has made that's good. I mean, seriously, go down the list of coaches, go down the list of PMs and say, wow, that was a good one that just didn't work out.
Nope.
There's not. Nope. There's not a guy there.
Nope. He hired Philbin. Like, who would hire
Sat across the table from Joe Philbin and said, you're my guy.
For 4 years.
Personality. Yeah. I know you have to run, Dave.
I heard a great anecdote about Philbin. He allowed no cursing. His coaches couldn't curse the players. Nice. And Kevin O'Neill cursed to a player, the trainer, and he got called into the office. And he said, "Is it true you cursed to a player?" And he goes, "Well, the guys ignored 3 requests that we had for him in the trade, and then he started cursing at me." So yeah, I cursed at him. And, it's like these Ross. They want a elementary school or something. I guess. I don't know.
It's nuts, man. Go sit in the corner. All right, Dave. Always a pleasure. I know you have to run. Thanks so much taking time to be with us here on the Defo Show on Ion Channel. It's always a pleasure.
Appreciate it, man.
Dave Hyde, ladies and gentlemen. That was an interesting point he made about Stephen Ross. Who, you know what is funny, Lubie? I don't think he's. I never thought of him as being like an owner that you wouldn't want to have owning your team. But the series of blunders. Now, what is it? Is it just how could you constantly have like bad advice coming your way?
Well, my problem is it's more and more looking like, and we always joke about him being like the Dolan of football. And it's
I don't think he's like that at all. I mean, Dolan is a petulant child who was lucky to be in the inheritance business. Otherwise, he's out on the streets playing guitar there with a little tambourine looking for contributions.
But Ross has made his own money, and he stayed out of the way a lot more than Dolan until now. And what it's, to me, looking like is if people don't get along with him, he doesn't want them there. Well, who gives a shit? Like, that's my, like he.
What kind of yes men is he surrounded by? I mean, it makes you wonder.
Obviously not good at his job. But it's clear he has a good relationship with Ross. Who cares? Who cares if a guy has a good relationship with you if he's not getting the job done? Like, I don't get that at all. That's so weird to me.
The Mariners are facing similar circumstances in New York, but people have a lot more faith in them than they do in Miami here with Stephen Ross, especially the way things have operated of late. But interesting stuff there. The professor, though, wow.
Sort of spot on.
Was he really on to something? I mean, we laughed at him. We mocked him. We told him to stop it already, that we can't keep proliferating this nonsense.
And he was right.
and he theorized this from day one. As soon as Brian Flores was named the head coach of the Dolphins, he said, there it is. I smell a rat, and it's Belichick.
Yeah, day one.
Belichick has a spell over the entire universe of football, does he not?
Oh, for sure.
And he's justified this whole kind of mystical voodoo that he's able to go ahead and exhibit over other teams. I mean, you would think everything is in the Bills' favor in this ballgame, would you not? Bills and Patriots.
I mean, if you go down the quarterback, receivers, defense, coaching, even our lines,
experience,
experience.
So, I mean, you got Josh Allen going against, they don't go against each other head-to-head, obviously, but who would you say has the edge at quarterback in a playoff game that's going to be played in just absolutely impossible conditions? We saw what Belichick's approach was to adverse conditions in that one game when he threw 3 passes.
Didn't trust him.
So we'll see what happens with this one. But I don't know why. I'm feeling Buffalo, and... Well, I mean, you don't want to be feeling Buffalo, do you, at any time? What a shithole of a city. Sorry, people in Buffalo. I mean, we like to have fun with it because the Bills crushed us like a grape for years.
Honestly.
I had a good time in Buffalo back when I hitchhiked there from Syracuse to go see the Buffalo Braves play with Ernie No D. Gregorio. And you know who was the featured act on that team, Buffalo Braves?
Who?
That was Bob McAdoo. McAdoo,
Oh,
man.
he was the
Oh,
best.
man. McAdoo was great when he was with the Buffalo Braves. He was unbelievable to watch. Skinny guy, man. Very Kevin Durant-ish, actually, for his time. I mean, if, you could describe him. Because he could shoot the ball, man. Had a real beautiful, jumper from either side or even straight up. And then, of course, he could play inside. So McAdoo was a lot of fun. They also had a guy, I believe, named Randy Smith, had big hair. Does that say anything about the 70s? He had big hair.
Yeah, everyone had big hair.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't know if you were at an NBA game or an episode of the Mod Squad. I mean, everybody had big hair. I don't want to get into trouble for making some kind of.
It was all races. White guys had the Drew Fro. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you had Paul Michael. What's the guy's name? My Glazer, who played Starsky. Paul Michael Glazer, right? Isn't that the actor's name? I just saw him in an episode of Ray Donovan. I was watching season 1 of Ray Donovan for some reason. Oh, because it's playing on Showtime.
Nice.
And there he was, Paul Michael Glazer. And he still has the big hair. Unbelievable.
Exactly.
I mean, better television hair than even our own esteemed colleague, the Polyman. Mark Lawrence, speaking of esteemed colleagues, man, this guy, I don't know how he did last week. If he lost every game, what'd you say? He was 1-1?
1-1.
But the man was brilliant last week. I mean, he really was. I keep thinking about that on my walk of life, as you're just reviewing what's working in your life and what isn't. And I thought, wow, Mark Lawrence was so on his game for a Degenerate Friday last week with the theories and everything. And then, even if he went 0-2, I still would be more than anxious to hear what he had to say this week. So Mark Lawrence, World Championship handicapper, going to join us next. What did he hit on? He wouldn't have taken George in the college game. That's for sure, because he would have had to lay points.
He left the championship game alone because
no, he liked the under. He hit that.
Games. He did 2 NFL games, and he liked the under. He liked the under in college.
Okay, so we'll give him 2-1. Right.
And he got Cincinnati getting 6 for some reason over Cleveland. And Cincinnati.
Well, I mean, because Cincinnati wasn't going to play any other starters in that.
Yeah, and they lost by 5. So he was right.
Lost by 5. Yeah, I hit that game with my one-on-one bookmaking venture with Francesco.
And he had Carolina.
Who's slumping late in the year, Lubie. Slumping. He had me by the collar. Take that, Tattaglia. Get out of here. All right. We're coming back with more here in a moment on the Defo Show, a Deel Volkswagen Degenerate Friday, brought to you by Gulfstream Park. Gulfstream Park, just great stuff going on with the championship meet. You can also punch away on the Gulfstream Park races at Hialeah Park, one of our fine sponsors as well, and that's always cool. Be there in the Champions simulcasting room, punching away on the track that's, just across town. But far enough away that, it's a matter of convenience, right? People always talk about this. We'll get into this maybe with the Gambling Gourmet, because he's very sensitive about certain things about pizza, right? Yeah, and he loves the pizza spot.
Yes.
But, I mean, not everybody's going to go drive, say, a half hour to pick up a pizza.
Well, that's the thing is as much as
it's
you
a neighborhood thing, right? I mean, and that's why there are so many pizza parlors or whatever and pizza places.
Well, at least here in South Florida, there's enough pizza places where you can drive 10 minutes and get good pizza.
Right. I mean, if you had to have a slice of pizza every 10 minutes, you could do it and sustain that, for 24 hours a day.
Louis, I can name at least 4 places within 10 minutes of my house that are solid to good.
Right. And it's kind of this thing with gambling, right? Now, most people are going to gravitate towards the place that's closest to them.
Yeah.
Look, I enjoy seeing the races live as much as anybody, but if you're going screen to screen,
yeah,
it's essentially, the place that's closest to you is probably going to be the most appealing, even if you don't like everything about it. And that's what's great about Hialeah. When you go in there, everybody loves what's going on, Champion Simulcasting Room, including the guy El Capitan that Gurgles likes.
Yeah.
The guy with the captain's hat, man. You're not sure if you're at the track or Gilligan's Island with this guy. It's great. Alan Hale, by the way, speaking of the Gambling Gourmet, had an excellent restaurant. It was, a very reasonably priced restaurant in Los Angeles, Alan Hale's Lobster Barrel. And you know what the lobster special was? And I was thinking about this the other day. Used to go in there on a Monday night. They had the lobster special. It was like, a pound, 1 pound lobster, 1 pound and a quarter, whatever that is, the smallest one.
Yeah.
Corn on the cob, baked potato, salad, dessert, and all of that was $5.99.
What year was that, Defo?
I'm going to say, what is that, 1950s?
Alan Hale's Lobster Barrel, of course, the captain of the ship there, Alan Hale, playing, what was the captain's name on Gilligan's Island?
Oh, God, I don't know.
You should know that. Come on.
Character. I like the show. I do know the show. I'm not that young, but I don't know the captain's name.
It's kind of a ridiculous concept, wasn't it? I mean,
well, the fact that they never got off was always weird.
Yeah.
That they could never get off.
I mean, somebody had to sail by at some point. The old joke is about the professor that he could make a shortwave radio out of a coconut, but he couldn't fix a little hole in the boat.
They called him the skipper. The skipper.
The skipper, yeah. Okay.
That's sad.
Alan Hale. I have to pay homage to Alan Hale's Lobster Barrel and a bottle of Charles Krug Chardonnay, which was a good California Chardonnay. I mean, some people would have considered it on the downside, like it was Chardonnay's version of Ripple. But they also make some very fine wines there at Charles Krug. But it was a very popular California wine, and you get a bottle of wine for $5. It was great. $5. 2 lobster dinners and a bottle of wine, and the tab came to what is that, about $16.95. Now you can't even get a half a cheeseburger for that.
I was gonna say that's like a burger.
Well, who do we blame? Joe Biden, Trump? Who do we put the finger at? Point in their face. All right, so coming back with Mark Lawrence. He's going to handicap some of these postseason games. Very excited about this weekend, Lubie. I don't know which game I'm most intrigued by, as Al Bernstein would say. I guess Bills Patriots will be of the highest level of interest for me, although maybe not, as they say on paper, the most exciting. It's a good matchup, though, isn't it? I mean, the Bills have something to prove, and the Patriots also have something to prove, right? Because Belichick always wants to prove that I could do it without Brady.
Yeah, every year, especially now that they won the Super Bowl.
Would you have the balls to take the upset of Philadelphia over the Buccaneers? No?
I'm going to be rooting hard for it, but no. I think the Bucs win.
Okay. I don't think it's going to happen either. Did they cover the point spread of 8.5?
Yes.
Philadelphia covers. Philadelphia covers?
Oh, no, I think the Patriots. I think
Buccaneers blow them out.
I think the Eagles don't belong.
Blow them out. Blow them right out of the water there. And Jalen Hurts, is exposed as a fraud. And Tom Brady does it again. Wins, seals. I mean, if he didn't already have the MVP sealed up, he wins it, right? You know they're going to give it to him.
Well, it's already decided. It has nothing to do with the playoffs. You know that.
I know that. Just sounded good. All right. Mark Lawrence coming up here on the Defo Show. It's a Deel Volkswagen Degenerate Friday.
Yes,
Gulfstream Park involved. Championship meet is on. That's always great. And we're coming back with more in a moment. Now that. It's 8:22 on the East Coast. Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time. When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not, because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread in town. All at Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse.
Hey, it's Mike Mayo for Even Keel Fish Shack, corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard at Lauderdale by the Sea. It's my favorite place now for great seafood in a casual beachfront setting. They've got happy hour 4 to 7 Monday through Friday. They've got great dishes like grilled oysters and oysters on the half shell, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, octopus. They also have burgers and chicken for those who don't like the seafood. They're open 7 days a week for a lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack. Go say hi to Dave and Brad and tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Recently realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone when you can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side?
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deel Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at deelvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deel a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deel Volkswagen.
Mark Lawrence, burial last night with the hook, the dagger right there in the small of my back. That hook did me in again. I should know better. What would happen to you? We've asked you this before. If you actually were giving points in a ball game, would you be able to live with yourself or look yourself in the mirror the next day?
I would probably be ordering my last meal at the same time.
There is nothing better than Defo. It's now time for the Defo Show.
We've mentioned this many times. One of the most exciting football weekends that you could come upon is about to confront us here as we start Saturday with a couple of games, and then Sunday 3 games, a Monday night football game with 6 wild card weekend games to start out the NFL postseason. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubitz with you on ION channel and streaming audio and video around the world. And we welcome to the program. And this guy has had a marvelous season for us, as he does, it seems, Lubie, every year. Are we not like shaking our heads in amazement at how Mark Lawrence has given us just underdog after underdog after underdog, never picking a favorite here? And Mark, first of all, how are you? And how many years has it been? I want to say, maybe even as many as 15 that we've been doing these sessions.
I think it's 15, Defo. I remember going back to the days when you were doing Radio Row and going to Tampa and hooking up with you there, and also the gig over at the Tiki Hut doing that as well. And it's been a long while to say the least.
Yeah, great. And have you? I don't think you've ever given out a team or a side that was laying points in that entire long and glorious history.
I think you're spot on that, 100%. Exactly.
All right, last week, 1-1 on the pro games, but you also gave out as your opinion. We didn't make it an official pick, I guess, in the Lubie cataloging of events here on the program, but you did say play the under,
He did.
and that you favored the under in the college championship game, which looked like Lock City. I guess it was, even though it came close at the end, as these things tend to do. It didn't seem like the over was ever really in play in that ball game once they got to like 9-6 at halftime.
No, it looked like a dead under most of the way, and it would have been a bad beat had it gone over the total. But the bottom line is defense has prevailed. A lot of field goals have to happen for things like that to work, and it did. So it was nice to see a low-scoring defensive battle, and a little bit of a surprise to those who bet Alabama. And I was told one of my customers sent me a note after the game, and he had said that he had understood that even President Donald Trump had bet Alabama.
Uh-oh.
And after the game, Trump approached the referees and asked if they could find 16 points for him. So
I like that you mixed in a little politics into this thing. Well, I mean, we were saying this, though, Mark Lawrence, and look, you've been doing this for a living for a long, long time, longer than you've been doing these shows with us. And, you had a vision about this whole thing and the wherewithal to go ahead and develop this fantastic statistical database with numerology that that, as we say, you are a degenerate Rene Descartes
Yes.
when it comes to the math on this thing. But when you listen to somebody that has very sound logic, and we were using one of your variations of a theme there, don't bet against the devil there, and the track record with all the trends would tell you don't bet against Saban when he's getting points. It's 5 out of 6 that he's beaten the spread, and in 5 of those 6 games, the ones that he beat the spread, he won outright as an underdog. So trends were definitely in your favor, but you can't feel like too much of a schmuck if you liked Alabama in that game, because all the signs were pointing to the fact that you were going to cover the 2 and a hook.
Yeah, and the things that you cannot foresee are injuries, obviously. Jamison, Williams going down for Alabama in the football game was a big, big loss at a critical time. But they gave their best effort, Alabama did, and tip of the hat to Georgia. They played a terrific football game, and I can understand and see why they were the number 1 ranked team most of the football season, because they were not to be denied in that football game. And it just closed out really funky, like 3 scores in a row by Georgia in the fourth quarter kind of made the score a little bit deceptive. But nonetheless, it was really, really good to see. And now what I'm really looking forward to is the expansion of college football playoff, so we can get down to maybe having 10, 12, or 14 teams in the playoffs.
World Championship handicapper Mark Lawence with us here on the Defo Show. Of course, playbooksports.com is where you find all of his great information and invaluable in terms of formulating opinions on handicapping, and everything that you see and hear now or read about handicapping as more and more people are getting into wagering with the expansion of legal wagering in New York, and eventually, when we come out of the Stone Age here in Florida, do some research on this, and nobody does it better than Mark Lawrence, our World Championship handicapper. All right, we have 6 games on tap this weekend in the National Football League. I thought, honestly, Mark, no matter what side you were on, whether you got pummeled the last week of the regular season or just made a giant score and made up for what otherwise was a very poor year, whichever side you came out on, that was a pretty exhilarating weekend of football on the pro level. I mean, if they had to expand, it left you thirsting for more. And I think that's why, this weekend's playoff appetite and menu is particularly appealing also. But, wow, what a great, exciting weekend it was last week in the National Football League.
Yeah, it was really, really, truly worth watching. It was much-watched television, and it concluded with the Raiders Chargers football game, which went right down to the wire, one play before overtime expired. And the thought that I left with after the football game is that Brandon Staley, the head coach of the Chargers, he lived by the analytics and he died by analytics, and that's exactly what happened to him in that contest. There, it was the fact that he called time out while they were getting ready to even prepare to tie the football game and send both teams to the playoffs. It sort of bit him in the rear end, but really, really good football last weekend. I think we're going to see a heck of a wild card round this weekend as well. And I think there's a couple of live dogs out there that are noteworthy as well.
All right, good. We're going to get to that. Kind of reminded me when you were talking about Staley, and you have to be able to see what's going on the other side of the field, and you could kind of sense that the Raiders were going to go ahead and just take it easy and figure, all right, we got this far, we make the postseason, why risk a Joe Pisarcik type of play or a blocked field goal attempt that goes back for a score? Then we're out. We're in, and you know what? Welcome, our friends, you Los Angeles Chargers. Nice battle. It's like 2 guys hug each other in a boxing match after a real tough fight, and they shake hands, and they both make it to the postseason. But instead, this Staley and Angelo Dundee told me the story many years ago about the thriller in Manila, and I heard it often from him that the only he actually picked up Ali, and you can see this if you watch the film of this fight or any replay of the thriller in Manila. He picked up Ali so that he stood up off the stool because he saw that Eddie Futch the trainer of Joe Frazier, was about to wave it off. And so he figured all Ali had to do was stand up and he wins the fight. Ali wanted to quit.
Wow.
And that's kind of, you're looking at Staley thinking, hey, don't you see the body language is that, these guys are going to go ahead and be content to take the tie at this point or not risk. I mean, even running a dive play, right? The ball could pop out of there. All of a sudden, you might find yourself out of the playoffs yourselves. And then this Pisaccia would have been a disgrace. So I don't know. I mean, Staley, I don't know you could have blown it any more than calling that timeout.
Yeah, even Derek Carr, the quarterback for the Raiders, said they were stunned, and things changed at that time when he called the timeout. And that was really, really, really easy to isolate as an incident. But you can go back into the football game when he elected to go for first down in the first quarter from inside of his own 30-yard line. He elected to go for first down. Like I say, you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Yep.
And people that follow analytics as far as coaching goes in the National Football League, they're in the wrong profession. They should be geeks on Wall Street. They should be roaming the National Football League.
Let him go into my son's profession, although he's not a geek, become a certified public accountant. All right, so we have some accounting to do for this upcoming weekend. We need some guidance here, Mark Lawrence. I'm not sure that I have any firm conviction about any of these games. My usual fence-sitting position here. I do kind of like Buffalo over the Patriots, but I would imagine if you were betting that game, you would be going the other way, saying don't bet against the devil, in this case, Belichick, getting 4 and a hook. They're used to adverse conditions, but we'll let you go ahead and spot play a couple of games for us in the postseason, if you don't mind. Here's Mark Lawrence, playbooksports.com, outstanding website, world championship handicapper. He's in the hunt there at the Westgate, and or at least was, and won the first quarter. Very fine season he had for us here, well above 500, picking all underdogs. Mark Lawrence, the stage is yours, my friend.
Well, I think we look at this card this week. The two things that jump out to me, Defo, are number one, at this stage of the season, defense wins football games. And the teams that make it to the Super Bowl are almost always teams with top 10 ranked defenses. And that's where you start, at least in the wild card round. And we've got two underdogs that not only have the better defense, they have the better offense as well. These are better offense, better defensive dogs. Bods. There we go. Good looking bods. We have there we go. Yep, we have two good-looking bods this week, and it starts Saturday with Las Vegas when they invade Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Vegas comes in, better offense, better defense, and they're going to take on a Cincinnati Bengal football. Is a long time between drinks of playoff water. Winning football games it's been a long, long time for this team. Joe Burrow's done a great job, and kudos to him for everything he's done, but he's never been here before, nor has Derek Carr, but Derek Carr is not favored in this football game. Joe Burrow is. What really, really cements the play to me has been the recent success of road teams in the wild card round in the National Football League playoffs. You go back to as far as 2018 goes, road dogs are 12-4 straight up and 13-3 against the spread. Road teams in the wild card round of the playoffs. That's the starting point. Look for these road teams, and almost always they're taking points. This one, the Raiders, happens to be a bod, a better offense, better defensive dog. We'll make them play number one Saturday in the wild card games.
I think the other thing working in your favor with that selection, Mark Lawrence, is that Cincinnati all of a sudden became Cinderella.
Exactly.
And as once again, they became the darling of all of the analysts as maybe the team to beat this year, Joe Burrow coming around. Then they slumped, suffered a couple of what seemed like unfathomable losses, and in a style where you thought they were falling apart. And then they came back again, and now everybody loves them again. So that's working in your favor. The go against the public, because everybody seems to think that Cincinnati's on a roll and that the Raiders were a great story this year, but by all means, life and death to get there. So we have the Raiders getting points against Cincinnati. That's Mark Lawrence's first selection here in the Wild Card Weekend postseason as it gets underway on Saturday. And what else do you have for us, Mark?
Well, we're going to fast forward to Monday, the first Monday night wild card game in NFL history, and we'll play the points with Arizona taking on the L.A. Rams again. Another bod, better offense, better defense, Arizona Cardinals, who also happen to be one of our favorite 4x4 running dogs. They love to run the football, 4 yards a carry. The Rams will give you up 4 yards a carry. And there is no team in the National Football League that did a better job away from home this year than did the Arizona Cardinals. They were 8-1 straight up and against the spread. They just fit the epitome of a road team in the wild card playoffs. Backing teams just like that. And in our newsletter this week, Deepa, we broke down playoff teams versus other fellow playoff teams and how they fared against teams of the same ilk going head-to-head in situations like that. Arizona went up against 7 other fellow playoff teams this year. They went 5-2 straight up against the spread and in the stats. They won the yards by 488 net yards. The Rams went up against 7 other fellow playoff teams. They went 2-5 straight up against the spread, 1-6 in the stats, and they got beat minus 328 yards. If this was a racing form we were looking at, we would insist that Arizona would be the favorite in this race. Okay, but they're not. They're the dog, and hence we'll make them play number 2 on the wild card matchups this weekend.
Has anybody, in this congressional debate as to what to do with the nation's economy contacted you about some of your numerology? I mean, we've always said this, that if the bookies are running the country, we'd be prospering like never seen before, because the way they make these numbers. But that was some serious mathematical permutations there, Mark Lawrence, and a great job by you. So Raiders getting points, and the Arizona Cardinals, who conversely to Cincinnati were the darlings at one time. Every expert analyst that we had on the program said, "Oh yeah, the Cardinals are real." Then they proceeded to just plunder away. I think it was 3 games in a row, and they had clinched very early on their playoff position. They come in not necessarily razor sharp, but getting points in this spot with the theories that you've applied there, Mark Lawrence, certainly sounds like a very good play. All right, we wish you the best of luck. Where are you planning on taking in all of these events? Will you guys be busy churning out all kinds of material at playbooksports.com?
Yeah, we're getting ready. We're publishing our first basketball newsletter of the season this weekend. It goes out. That'll be available along with our playbook playoff guide for this weekend. Every NFL football game is covered in depth, like I mentioned, about the head-to-head stats against other playoff teams. All that's available online at playbooksports.com.
Not even Bill James could have dug some of this stuff up, Mark Lawrence. Brilliant by you, as always. Playbooksports.com. We recommend it to everybody. I mean, all kinds of different ways that you can access all of this brilliant material and use it as a guideline, or just do like Mark Lawrence does and always take the points. Mark, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks so much for joining us, and best of luck on all of your plays and all of the great stuff you put out with playbooksports.com over the first wildcard weekend.
Hey, my pleasure, Defo. Mike, you guys enjoy the games. Be well, stay safe, and we'll catch up with you down the road. Take care.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, sounds good. I remember Mark coming out to the Tiki Bar shows there. Those were wild. We're going to have to resurrect that here with video aspect. Don't you think that would be fun? The Bamboo Beach Tiki Bar there, Frank Tallarico's great place. Unbelievable.
For the best. Yeah, we almost had it and then sort of pulled back. I'd love to do that. Those were great shows. Those are always a good time.
Always a good time. A wild array of people could appear on that show, both from the sports world and, all kinds of different people with celebrity stature and status. So you never knew what you were going to get. It was always a lot of fun and a great atmosphere out there as well. All right, we're coming back with the Gambling Gourmet Mike Mayo. I'll be interested to watch Mayo's blood pressure today. I don't know. What do you think? Should he have some kind of medical assistance with him? The way that he's been going,
that's one. I know he had that one day when he went to 6 different restaurants and had full course meals with wine, with whiskey, with the whole thing, and ate like literally
it's
every
daily.
half hour.
It's a daily occurrence.
But this
I
is different. This is being at a butcher shop that serves food. That's a lot. Then going to a fucking festival where he's a judge, so he has to
judge
at least 10 meals.
At least 10 things. I mean, how many bites do you need to, is it like a David Portnoy type of thing where you just go one bite pizza and then you make your judgment?
Where I have my Jewish mother in my head, so I'm eating the whole wing. He probably takes a bite and puts it down and goes, Mayo with his.
Do they cleanse their palate with a little sherbet or something like that? Does that really work?
Yeah. That's probably what he does. He probably doesn't eat the whole thing. He's not a schnorr like I am.
I see Mayo with a giant, remember those fried turkey legs you used to see being sold?
He's not a
and the thing looks like it came off a dinosaur, and it's like something you would see Fred Flintstone having for breakfast. And I see him going that route. I don't know. I mean, Mayo, he says he lost 6 pounds since last week, since he started exercising.
He'll gain it today.
He's adopted the walk of life, because I told him, hey, Mike, you know what? If you're going to do this,
You got to live.
You know, Saget rolled a 7 at 65. You know, I don't want you getting there that quickly. You know, we're going to need you around to tell us what to do with both sports and food. And what's great is he was very, very, outspoken about this whole Brian Flores thing. He has a theory that relates to scapegoats. So we'll get into that with Mike Mayo. That's coming up next here on the Defo Show on ION Channel. I'm Jeff Deforrest. He is Mike Lubitz. Any calls on the fully vaccinated shirts? I don't think I gave an adequate demonstration. Nothing?
You showed like words. You didn't even show the whole
No,
shirt.
I mean, the shirt didn't look good enough to display because, I mean, it was... You know, all for clump there in the laundry basket, and it was a shirt that I wore like on some athletic endeavor, whatever it is that I have left in my life, tennis and the walk of life, and it was schwitzy, and it didn't look real good. That's all I can say.
I'm aware, so people aren't running to pay for that.
All right, well, Monday I'm going to wear one. I'm going to go back to the old place and get the box here because if we could make a little money here on the show, it would be
wonderful. Nice.
It would be highly helpful, too. Yeah. I think Jack's losing hope. All right. No, we're doing fine. Great to be with you here on the ION channel. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubitz, the Gambling Gourmet Mike Mayo joins us next here, and we'll be with you a little bit of an extended period of time on this Deel Volkswagen Degenerate Friday. Was that not pure mathematical wizardry on the part of Mark Lawrence?
Yes.
He may whiff on both games, but, I mean, when you listen to that, you're thinking to yourself, I mean, Matt Damon wasn't this sharp with math. And Goodwill Hunting. Unbelievable job by Mark Lawrence today. All right, back in a moment. Now that.
The time.
It's 8:46.
Hey there, it's Mike Mayo. Do you like steaks? Do you like seafood? Do you like classic old Florida charm? You could get that all and more at Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of 95. The Studiali family, they've been running the place a long time. It's been there more than 70 years. And it is now a place you can get early bird specials along with steaks to take home and throw on the grill yourself at the Butcher Shop. That's open 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. It's open for dinner every night starting at 4:30, but they are closed on Sundays. Go to Tropical Acres. It's a place to go for a great meal, great people, good value. Tropical Acres.
The championship meet is right around the corner at Gulfstream Park. The only place for live racing, Gulfstream's action has never been hotter. Whether it's on the track, in the casino, or part of the dining and entertainment offered at the Village of Gulfstream Park. Currently running Thursday through Sunday, Gulfstream's racing package is the best in the country, with all the top horses and people in the game pointing towards another tremendous winter season. Check out the remodeled first floor casino, open 7 days and nights a week, along with the many special events and concerts happening at Gulfstream Park. You can place your wagers from anywhere at firstbet.com. Check the calendar of events at GulfstreamPark.com.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation location because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. Their hours have changed a little bit. Monday through Thursday from 3:30 to 10, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11:30 to 10. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Since day one of Old School, we've had Catholic Health Services be part of our family. They are recognized as the quintessential rehab facility in the Southeast for strokes, but it goes well beyond strokes, because Catholic Health Services is in the community of South Florida to help the community stay healthy. And if they're not healthy, get them healthy and get them back on their feet quicker than they could have ever expected. They do it every single day. It's step and repeat, 24/7. Catholic Health Services.
Buy or lease a house and take it to the house at Deel Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at deelvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deel a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deel Volkswagen.
All right, so
Here's
you have
my
the poem. Let's do it.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I got DQ'd from the late double. Sorry, no champagne or caviar for you.
Mike Mayo, the Gambling Gourmet, ladies and gentlemen.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
Watch football and eat. That's what this weekend is all about. Watch football.
Don't forget the gambling.
Gamble and stuff your face. We welcome to the show. Welcome back to the program, by the way. The Defo Show here on Ion Channel. Special hello to my good friend Francesco.
Hey.
Often mentioned. Gets his lines every week out of the Jewish Journal. I can't wait to see what he sends me this week. Fortunately, he's slumping a little bit of late, so the tab isn't too bad, but having a remarkable season at like 22 units over 500, Mike Mayo. And I'm booking this guy's action for years. Never had a winning year. Sends me, a check, or now I guess you sell the cash there because you can't trust anybody to mail a check out. But anyway, yeah, every year, not huge denominations, but this year getting crushed like a grape by this guy. I think he's getting his picks from the Russian mob that has inside information and direct connections to the computer technology at FanDuel to see what the public is betting.
Either that or he's getting his picks from Mark Lawrence, who's pretty hot. And by the way, he was on fire today. He had me rolling. I didn't see that Trump joke punchline coming. That was good.
No.
And I don't know, as a writer or if, you could create it. The fact that as it came on, I could hear dogs barking in the background.
Yes.
I mean,
yes,
that was like
right on cue.
It was
perfect.
appropriate. Yeah.
It's who let the
my
dogs
dog
out.
Holly, is in the room here, and she wanted to acknowledge the fact that he always picks the underdog.
Well,
and she feels like a bit of an underdog. She spent like a year and a half in a kennel, and was a lost dog at some point, and she was adopted, and somebody brought her back. And she's a terrific little dog, but she heard Lawrence and started barking. You're right.
I know. It's just like uncanny. The guy just attracts dogs. Now,
on cue.
In hindsight, you could say, well, he kind of sat out the championship game because, he didn't like Alabama as the underdog. But, could have made an exception to his usual MO because who was the winning team? The Bulldogs.
Yes.
I mean, it's like, even when there's a favorite, he's still betting a dog in a way. So he could have gone with the team.
I don't think so. You know how it is. I mean, if you're somebody that only bets underdogs, you can't. He literally he would rather have a cap of cyanide than take the chalk in the ball game. But he did. He loved the under, and he was absolutely right. I mean, it didn't look that way at the end when you looked at the final margin versus the over-under total, it was like 2 points away from going over that game. But it was really never threatened because, that included
unless they kicked extra
score.
Points instead of going for 2 at the end when they're scoring touchdowns.
But you don't know
the circumstances dictated that they go for 2. So that's why it ended up being 51 instead of 53. I think the number was 53.
But the dynamic would have changed, if that ball game was a tie also.
Enough of that. That's past history. I want to get into me and my, obviously it's concerning to you guys about my eating habits at this point. And today is a big eating day. Well, do you see it in my face? It's a little bit skinnier, maybe.
Darn, TV adds 10 pounds. I mean, you know how that goes. Yeah.
So you're saying no? It doesn't look a little.
You look good.
No, you look good, kid. You know
I
what?
showered. I shaved. Usually for the radio
on the show. Yeah, you just sit there and say,
"Hey,
you look good." You stick your head out the door, and then we say you look good.
Today's a big day, big eating day. I'm very excited to be doing the remote on the later broadcast on the lunchbox with, I guess, the debut of Lubie. We're gonna have him, I hope. Right?
There's free food involved.
Yeah,
if it's not catered, it's not journalism.
And then we've got the food festival, the barbecue poolside competition tonight that's sold out. And do you see the grand tasting is sold out now too? So our work here is done, Defo. It's like everything is out of tickets, so I hope they're happy. I'm very happy about going.
It was all you. It was all you.
Yeah, good job.
And you would think that now I should be like, maybe, I'm having a little coffee, maybe a little fruit or yogurt. No. You know what I'm having for breakfast, Defo?
A knish.
Leftover chicken wings from yesterday.
From
boy.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've been eating like you're going to the chair, Mike, and we love you.
I know how much you love this.
And it's great.
When I just start chomping on the air.
I thought he's eating a wing.
It's the Neil Rogers show all over again. Just unbelievable. When they put Neil on TV there for a brief moment, and he was wearing a yarmulke. I don't know. I mean, wasn't exactly scintillating stuff. Big Wilson was drawing a better audience. I mean, how are those? Those are the blackened grilled wings from Shenanigans.
Yeah, I had a blast out there yesterday with Pat.
Oh, you ended up winning money too, you degenerate sicko.
Yeah, after the broadcast was over, I shout out to Pat. I say, "Hey Pat, I'm giving you homework. Let's open up to the third race at Gulfstream. Let's pick some horses." I picked. I like the horse that was the longest shot in a field of 6 or 7. A Kathleen O'Connell horse went off at 13-1 with Paco, and he liked the Mike Maker horse, and it was the second longest shot. We did up $10 exacta. Anyway, we ended up we put up $100 each, and we ended up hitting a $10 exacta and a 10-cent superfecta, and we walked away with $700. We walked away with $1,400. We turned 200 into 1,400. So, basically, that was great. Everybody
basically,
left happy.
You've turned your life around from the wicked, long, prolonged slump that you claim to be in at the end of the year, which unfortunately I have not been able to reverse that with a trip to Las Vegas on tap here. But you're suddenly winning again, which is good.
It's a good thing because, any gambler knows it's.
By the way, how are you eating this now when you're going to be eating like a giant fucking lunch? And then, I mean, what is your approach on this judging? Do you eat the complete portion that they put in front of you of the 10 items that are on, in the competition?
I heard you mention Portnoy, who I'm not a big fan of in any respect, but his whole shtick is everybody knows the rules. Whatever is it, 1 bite or 2? It's like, no, if you're gonna be critiquing pizza, you need to eat the whole slice because you gotta check out all. Again, if you're just singularly focused on reviewing one place, you got to eat the whole slice because there's many parts of a pizza, the crust and the edges and all this stuff. And so that whole 1 bite rule is just stupid. But when you are judging,
but it works. I mean, he's extremely popular and wealthy.
I don't resent him that. I just resent him as his food philosophy in terms.
Seems
of
like a bit of a schmank.
Pizza.
I mean,
but the when you're going and being a judge at a competition and you have to eat like 10 or 20 different plates, you can't eat the whole plate.
Lubie did.
I used to, and I would get.
He needed paramedics to come out there. I mean, they actually had to pull him off of the bench that he was sitting at. It was one of those like picnic type benches where your knees are kind of stuck in your throat, and they had to cart him out of there. They literally took him out on a gurney after judging a contest on wings.
You got to eat at your own risk when you go to these kind of big mega events and have an unlimited array of food. But
what is it? Me, I'm done. Are you going 1 bite and out?
Two bites. Again, you take the 1 bite, you take your initial okay, what's going on here, and then you got to go back and take another bite to confirm your first opinions. And if it's really delicious, I'll eat the whole thing. But again, that's if I'm up to my last plate. But I think tonight we got 10 competitors. It looks like some really, really tasty plates and bites that are going to be composed. I saw something with the chef from the Hyatt Centric Hotel there downtown Fort Lauderdale where it's taking place. His name is Greg McGowan. He used to be at the Pier 66 Hotel. He's making some sort of like a smoked kind of pastrami bite, but it looked like a really kind of fancy schmancy plate on Instagram. But the bottom line is I'll eat 2 bites of every competitor's thing. And then if I still have, a pulse, I'll go back and maybe eat a little more of my favorite plate. And then hopefully not break into the meat sweats and just fall down and sag it.
Taking what you're doing into consideration, and I'm bringing a baboon with me in case you need a heart transplant.
How about Dr. Christian Barnard?
Christian Barnard, yeah.
Is he still alive? Is he on call? Can I get him
like when you see your cardiologist holding hands with an orangutan in a parking lot and you're in there for a checkup, you realize that maybe it's time to switch directions. But now does the paying public, which we copped some freebies for this thing, but do we get to try all of that stuff? I mean, is that the way this thing works?
Yeah, I mean, it's these events. When you get there, you'll see there's tables set up all around the grounds, or in this case, around the pool deck, and you'll be able to just go up to each different competitors. We'll have a basically 80 or 100 plates set up, and you'll just go up, pick up your plate, and then
Give
just
me a shot on that.
yeah, you
All
go
right.
there. And I assume they're also going to have plenty of wine, since it's a food and wine festival, and other libations, soft and hard drinks. And you could just go, and again, that's why people pay the ticket prices, because everything is included there. You don't even
Where's this at, by the way, Mike Mayo? Where's this taking place?
So it's the Hyatt Centric Hotel, but again, all the tickets are sold out. But if you have a ticket,
where is it? Yeah.
Oh, well, you need to. I'll give you.
I want to get down there. Yeah, I need directions.
Hyatt Centric Hotel.
It.
Have you been to downtown Fort Lauderdale lately? Because it's just one big, massive construction zone. It's
man,
right on,
sort of. Yeah.
It's on Las Olas Boulevard, near where that was it.
Oh, okay.
Huizinga Park, near the riverfront. Across from where the old Sun Sentinel building used to be on Las Olas and
Boy, that was a classic building too, huh? What a shame.
Great building.
Yeah, and then
bastion of journalistic, I mean, emblematic of everything that was good about journalism in South Florida, and then gone, man. What is it now? It's a gay bar. What is it?
No, Fifth Third Bank is.
It's a bank. Okay, we needed another bank here. All right,
Anyway,
Mike Mayo with us. Chow those down, because I want to get into your, conspiracy theories.
I have some thoughts. Yeah, I heard Hyde.
Yeah,
and always good to hear my old compadre.
He was brilliant today. I thought he was very good today. Dave Hyde. I thought he did a great job on the show.
In summation, my whole
hold on to that thought. Hold on to that thought.
We got a break?
Well, yeah, I mean, people are getting disgusted watching you do the Hank Goldberg show.
We love
Hank. We love Hank. I'm
I'm
hoping you can help me in this new venture here when we're out in Las Vegas. I'm going to plan a meeting with Hank Goldberg.
Please.
Yeah. So it'll be great. All right, we're coming back with more. Mayo's going to continue stuffing his face, which is incredible. He is defying.
It's like a marathon.
Like the CDC is going to be calling a show and saying, make him stop.
Joey Chestnut would always prepare for battle by actually eating and stretching his stomach. You have to stretch the stomach. You can't starve yourself before.
People say you're doing a good job of
that. Because then you get
filled
up. You got to get in eating shape, and I'm in eating shape.
I mean, yeah, you don't want to end up having your waist measurements in circumference, my friend. But they're giving you like longitude and latitude. All right, we're coming back with more in a moment here on the Defo Show. Mike Mayo will continue to defy all logic and eat his way into a diabetic coma. He's going to tell you the Buster Douglas story right here on the Defo Show on ION Channel. I'm Jeff Deforrest. He is Mike Lubitz. Mike Mayo, the Gambling Gourmet, had the wrong scapegoat theory is what we want to embellish here on the program. And back with that in a moment.
It's a fact. It's the wrong scapegoat. That's it.
There you go. Back in a moment. Now that.
The time.
It's 9:02.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation location, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. Their hours have changed a little bit. Monday through Thursday from 3:30 to 10, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11:30 to 10. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time. When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not, because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread in town. all at Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? Why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone when you can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side?
Hey, it's Mike Mayo, the Gambling Gourmet here for my friends over at Shenanigans Sports Pub. It's a great place to go to take in a game, a good meal, and a couple of drinks. My friend Patrick, he's been doing it a long time, and he's got 2 locations. West Side is right across from TY Park in Hollywood. And then the East Side location is at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Shenanigans is the place for wings, burgers, barbecue, fresh fish, anything you want, drink specials, late night dining, outdoor dining. It is the place to go, family friendly. Go to Shenanigans and tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
You know, now that it's football season, it's time for cliche talk. You know, it's like
Stu Dickman is going to take. That's my alter ego, Stuart Dickman, and the Stuart Dickman
So if
show.
you could run, so here's my encapsulation of handicapping every football game coming up this season.
All right.
If you can run the ball and control the clock, obviously you're in a good position to win. But also defense. You need the good defense because defense wins championships. Now, of course, if it's a really close matchup, it could come down to the special teams. And then when you get to the fourth quarter, it's all about who wants it more.
Yes, who wants it more? Good for you. That was the good capper.
The best way to kick off your day is with Defo plus Lubie. We now return to the Defo Show.
You got to run the ball downhill, man. Downhill is where you want to run the ball.
Between the tackles.
It's
If
all
the
downhill
field was
from
slanted.
here.
Yes.
It is
All right,
all downhill from here, Defo.
Welcome back to the show, the Defo Show. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubitz with you here on Ion Channel. Mike Mayo, the Gambling Gourmet, is with us, and we'll be with you this morning. A little extension on the Deel Volkswagen Degenerate Friday shows as we take you till 9:30 Eastern Time here on all of the various outlets of Ion Channel, both audio and video streaming. All right, I did want to get into this, and we have to make a clarification again, Mike Mayo, believe it or not. I want to get into your theory about the wrong scapegoat, but we asked this trivia question, and I did it on the show here because I knew it wasn't going to go on the Mike Mayo Lunchbox show as the challenge to win some tickets to this Fort Lauderdale Wine and Food Festival that you talked about. And you tossed out what I thought was a gimme there about Shula and the perfect season.
We had to make it easy on the people the first time, you know.
Well, we didn't know if we were going to get a call on this radio station.
Right.
I mean, to tell you
So
the
I
truth,
wanted it to be one
I
and
had
done.
the under at a half.
See, we hit the over. We actually had 4 calls light up the board.
Right away, too. I mean,
yeah,
right away. 2 were
and-
shills, though, Lubie. 2 were
2
Mayo
were shills, but two were legit. No, but it's not like I put them up to it. They're actually friends who actually legitimately listen to the show.
We're listening to the show?
Okay,
All right.
so that's good.
So it's something. It's a start.
You know, it's a start, as they say at the auction when they offer Picasso for $10. Yeah, it's a start. I got 10 over here in row 2.
Hey, it was good. It worked out. But I didn't want to put ourselves in the position of having a difficult question that might be
Well, no, that was smart.
wrongly answered by like 3 or 4 people because I didn't think there was going to be a fifth.
A fifth or a sixth.
Well, yeah, we probably have to take the fifth also on giving out the prize, whether or not they ever received it. But, you know, that's a whole nother
It was
matter
picked
of
up.
litigation. But
I got confirmation.
Anyway,
that-
somehow
yes.
I was going to throw out the thing about The Godfather. What was the name of the restaurant where they had the best veal in the city? Because that would be a common question asked of a food critic. Hey, where can I get the best veal in the city?
Best veal, yeah.
And so, you know, not only did I wrongly state it as Vincenzo's.
Yeah, it was
the guy named
Louis. Vincenzo looked it up, and it was Louis. He looked it up
Yeah,
on
It's Louis, yeah. And I
Louis-
told you were
Louis
wrong that it was
restaurant.
actually Lou's because all I saw
No,
was an apostrophe. on
I
the
remember
picture.
it, Louis restaurant.
yeah.
And I think it was supposed to be on Arthur Avenue in the Bronx. I don't know if that restaurant. It's probably a fictitious name, but yeah, a lot of great Italian restaurants in that neighborhood.
Yeah, and there were places, I guess, that were vying to have the scene shot there because, it was quite a distinction, right? It's kind of like that one scene in The Godfather, which is my favorite, where they're coming to town here. Michael Corleone's coming to town to, meet with the, Hyman Roth. And he's driving on the streets of Miami, and then all of a sudden he blows by the Citation statue at Hialeah. Did you?
It's like, how did he take that turn?
And then he's back on the streets of Miami as if he just went out the exit there, right by the train station, and was back on like 103rd Street.
That is a great non sequitur because you got to really take a wrong turn or have your
Citation
New Year's
statue.
Eve
I mean,
driving.
as clear as a bell. He's driving through the grounds there at Hialeah Park on the backside.
Hey, let me interrupt though. But did you see that somebody posted on the Let's Eat Food group this morning about that question and riffed on it, and then asked the group, the Let's Eat South Florida Facebook group, 70,000 plus. They asked, if you could eat at any restaurant in a movie, any restaurant from a movie scene, which restaurant would it be?
That's a good question.
And we'll talk about that more on the lunchbox later. But I chimed in. You know what my answer was, Defo?
Some diner, I thought.
The diner from Diner.
The diner, the Fells Point Diner and Diner.
Not exactly some diner.
The Barry Levinson movie, which was a classic, and it blended a lot of sports and sports trivia. Remember, that was where the protagonist was engaged, made his wife pass a football exam about the Baltimore Colts, and if she didn't pass, the marriage was off.
Yeah,
but
that's appropriate.
The Fells Point Diner, it was a great scene where there's this guy named Earl who was a rather rotund individual, and he ate the whole left side of the menu, and that would be my preferred thing, is to go to the Fells Point Diner and eat the whole left side of the menu.
I don't mind if somebody I'm with is not a sports fan in terms of female companionship. It happens that several of the women I've been with in my lifetime were sports fans. But my test is always this one. It's a simple one. And never mind, I don't care if they know the Baltimore Colts roster or the Dolphins secondary players. You take them to the track on the second date. And if she can put up with being ignored for 5 straight hours while you're punching her brains out, keep her. Keep her every time.
This is why the new Gulfstream Park, when they rebuilt it, was the best place in the world.
Thing. You can stash a woman there. Yes.
You just say, hey, go off to the shops at Gulfstream.
Here's 2
Village.
sticks. Go knock yourself
do a little
out.
shopping, go have a drink at a Yard House, and I'll be over here for a while. And it was great. Everybody got to do their thing.
Yeah, well, and unfortunately for me, Mustang being a slot player usually costs me another $300.
Well, that's
time I go to the. I mean, that's pressure, my friend. That's like Lee Trevino used to say. Losing a $5 Nassau when you don't have the $5 in your pocket, that's a pressure putt. But that's pressure when you have to win for 2 people. Almost impossible.
Yeah, it's hard enough breaking
Chateaubriand for the degenerate.
You gotta make up for the takeout, and then the double takeout, the marriage tax, so to speak.
Casino losses, are significant. All right. So what about your scapegoat theory on this Miami Dolphins situation? Brian Flores gets fired, and you were saying, Mike Mayo, putting your sports writers, pen and pencil set back in action, that they fired the wrong scapegoat.
No, I mean, my initial reaction when I heard the news on Monday morning was this organization is so inept they can't even get their scapegoats right. I mean, it boggles my mind because, all the possibilities that we were hearing out there from all the experts and, the insiders heading into the stretch of the season when they're doing their charts of which coaches are on the hot seat and which ones are safe. Everybody had Flores safe, or I think that's what I heard. But the possibilities were in everybody's mind was that the Dolphins would either fire both Greer and Flores to go in a new direction, or just fire Greer and keep Flores, because whatever you want to say about a team that loses 7 in a row, to hold the locker room together and then go on to win 8 of your last 9 and actually finish with a winning record for the second straight season is no small task. It shows a degree of coaching ability. So I thought, the possibilities were get rid of them both, get rid of Greer and keep Flores, but I didn't think anybody saw the get rid of Flores and keep Greer. I mean, that to me makes no sense. The only way it would make sense is that if you have somebody better lined up to come in because otherwise all you're going to do is alienate your already disgruntled fan base, and you're going to lose more of your season ticket holders who are dwindling anyway. I mean, I was talking a little bit about this yesterday with Pat Utter, who's a big Dolphins fan, and Shenanigans is known as a Dolphins fan bar. If you're going to go in there, you better, be a Dolphins fan. You can now this weekend you could be an anything fan, but the bottom line is, he's a longtime diehard Dolphins fan. He goes, he said, I can't figure out this move unless they have Harbaugh lined up, because you don't get rid of somebody who has, even if you think they're not maybe the long-term answer, you still don't get rid of somebody who has shown a degree of competence and success, however, limited, without having a better option on board. And now what are they doing? The fact that we don't even have a coach yet, or I don't know. I'm just mystified. I try not to take the Dolphins or fandom too seriously anymore, because, you get to a certain point, and I like to watch the games, but it's not life or death. It doesn't change my life, and I'm not a season ticket holder. I wouldn't spend good money on that hot garbage. So it's like, I don't know. I'm just mystified is what sums up my feelings.
Well, it's great. And, of course, we had some reason to find validation in the absurd theory that the professor was proliferating when Flores got hired here, and that he was a plant from Bill Belichick.
Right.
That his whole goal, Belichick had somehow managed to convince enough people that Flores was the guy. He was here with specific instructions and purpose of making the organization as dysfunctional as possible, and maybe bring it to new heights in that category. And sure enough, 3 years after Flores was here, the team is in a total state of chaos and disarray. Nobody knows what direction they're going in. Everybody's mystified by the moves that they're making. And they don't appear to have any great game plan already mapped out, because that was my first thought that, okay, who was here for the Orange Bowl game? Jim Harbaugh. Who does Stephen Ross love? Jim Harbaugh.
Right.
Yep.
And, okay, if you're going to fire Flores and this was your choice, let's see what happens. I don't know that everybody was so all in on Brian Flores anyway, although now every team that has an opening is somehow coveting an interview with Brian Flores.
Well, that might be just to satisfy the Rooney Rule, but we don't, I think that he will actually land a job as a head coach sooner rather than later, because I think he has shown himself able to coach an NFL team. But getting back to the theory, which is hilarious, but it's also ridiculous, and I guess the way to shoot holes in that
is it not true?
No, it's not true, and you know why? Here was
the justification, Mike. He ruined Tua, on purpose, and on top of that, he took the tank season and won 5 games with a bunch of schmanks when
I'm gonna riddle
when he
that.
had Fitzpatrick, at quarterback, and they all wanted him to play Josh Rosen so they would lose every game.
I'm going to riddle your theory with bullets like
it's not my theory.
Like Sonny Corleone was riddled by machine gun fire on the Atlantic Avenue or whatever that bridge.
I don't think you're considering these as facts.
No, let me make my point to shoot down. Okay, the point that shoots down this entire theory is, if he was a Belichick plant here to sabotage the Dolphins organization and help further the success of the New England Patriots, why would he go out and beat the Patriots in the last game of the year?
Because that's the cover-up, my friend. That's the cover-up. Who's in the playoffs and who's not, my friend? Did they really need those games against the Dolphins? No, they're going on the road against Buffalo.
You guys are going into too many QAnon Reddit holes, I think.
Michael, easy. It's clear. You can't. I mean, I was watching Ray Donovan.
Now my blood pressure is going. Forget the brisket.
Relax.
My blood pressure is going.
See, you're
up
taking
now.
sports too seriously here. You don't understand that there's truth to this. I'm watching Ray Donovan last night, and I don't know if you were a fan of the Ray Donovan series.
I never watched Ray Donovan. I do like
well,
Leaf
you would like it. I mean, it's great, and even going back after knowing all of these episodes and how they're going to end up. What happens? Okay, so he's got this guy Sully. He's going to whack his father, who's played by John Voight, in the first season. And Sully is the most wanted criminal in the FBI's most wanted list. He's number 1. All right, and he's played by James Woods. So Woods comes out to go ahead and whack John Voight, who is Ray Donovan's father, played by Liev Schreiber. And it turns out they've gone into their own conspiracy now, and he's now on the side of John Voight. So make a long story short, he ends up getting shot in this scene in the Ray Donovan final episode of season 1. They shoot Sullivan, and then Donovan has to shoot the cop in the arm who shot him so that it looks like they were in a shootout. And they avoid the truth, which was that John Voight was the guy to put the bullet in this guy's head. So you had to make it look good. And that's why, look, did you think the Patriots were really trying to throw a pick six 2 plays into the ball game? Are you kidding me?
That's not
A weak pass out to the flats there under instructions, from the offensive coordinator that don't complete this or you're gone, to Mac Jones.
All right, so then why would he beat him in the first game of the season when a loss would be excused?
Arbitrary circumstance. I mean, that might have been just one that slipped away, right? The Patriots weren't ready. They didn't look that good.
Right.
Coming into the year.
I did have one more real point to make about this whole Dolphins debacle in this organization, and it kind of struck me when Hyde was talking about Steve Ross. Now, what has he shown? He's not made one right decision, and it just kind of boggles my mind how somebody who can be so successful and a billionaire, the guy who's just made oodles and oodles of money from developments and his chosen business professions, and then how could he be such an idiot when it comes to sports and running a sports team? And we've seen this before, but then it also it goes into my whole just boggles my mind of how can people like Novak Djokovic and Kyrie Irving be so freaking talented and good at their chosen sports and then be such fucking idiots when it comes to the rest of the world? I mean, it's like it's mind-boggling to me that people who can have so much talent and ability in one area can be just completely clueless.
But
not just
you see people that are
misguided,
super talented in
moronic.
various fields and endeavors, like artists and it turns out they're like recluses in reality. They don't have any desire to be standing up in front of people and entertaining. Ricky Williams was an example. I mean, we wanted him to play football because he was fun to watch and very entertaining as a football player, and that's what we're looking for, a little bit of entertainment. But maybe he hated playing. I mean, it's possible. I mean, I don't know how much of that was actually true, but why should he be forced to do something that he doesn't really want to do? Now with the ownership thing, and it seems like a basic theory would be you're dealing with esoteric stuff and intangibles and subjective judgments in sports, and you have a big element of luck also. And in business, these guys are dealing with like pure mathematics and their ability, because they have the wherewithal to do certain things that other people don't, to continue to make more money and compile even greater riches. So, the smarts in the one area doesn't necessarily apply to what's going on in the sporting world. But it is true. I mean, in general, most of these guys look like complete fools. And I thought Stephen Ross was okay as an owner, right? Seemed to have his head and heart in the right place. But, he couldn't have gone about the business of getting it any more wrong.
What I like about the guy is he spends his own money on stadium improvements instead of coming out with hat in hand and playing the whole, extortion game.
Even the Mick got a free building down there in Miami. Mickey Harrison, he's got
everybody gets a free building, and this guy is such an idiot he can't even do that.
My problem with Ross is usually business owners that do really well surround themselves with smart people that push them, that question them, that bring something to the table. And usually you don't want to be the smartest person in the room, especially when you're a business owner. But what happens is when they get into sports, for some reason, they only want to be around the people that make them feel good. Like, that's what I don't get. Ross, every time someone questions him, that's why he doesn't hire them, because they push him. He goes with the Philbins and all the Irelands, and even Parcells, Dunn Parcells, where he
Mike Tannenbaum.
He goes with the people that don't push him. And that's why he's a failure. And I don't get it. I don't get why in one area of life you're okay with people who question you, and the area you don't know, that's when you want the sicko fans. Because that's why Greer's here. Like, Greer's lived through every regime because Greer has a great relationship with him.
No, he has the photos, right, Defo? That's what you say.
Well, I believe he has pictures of Stephen Ross coming out of that Asian massage parlor that Bob Kraft was nailed in. And the only reason, Kraft, everybody sees on TV all the time. They rarely show a shot of Stephen Ross, except if he's looking on an exasperation. And usually you'll see, like, as Lubie points out, like a couple of yes men, in his ear going, don't worry, Stephen, we're going in the right direction here. I know we're 1-7.
Always.
It's all going to turn around, which it did. But I don't know. It is true. A lot of these guys become bozos. We were talking about the interview we had with Tillman Fertitta a couple of years ago on the radio, where I suggested that same theory, that how is it that these businessmen fall apart, implying that he was not one of them. And he took great exception with it. And it was a very, you would have to say, acrimonious interview from that point on.
It was awkward.
All right. Well, it's everybody's entitled to
Kind
their
of like
opinion.
when
You
you
know,
said that chef was creating something that looked like a pile of garbage in Staten Island, and the only thing missing was the vultures flying overhead in one of your articles in the Sun
Right.
Sentinel, Mike Mayo.
Yeah, that was a
That was a
turning
little
point.
harsh.
Yeah, didn't like that. But no, it's again, just because somebody is rich doesn't mean necessarily that they're smart or that they can translate one success in one area to another. And like Lubie says, if you're going to just surround yourself with yes men and yes people, it usually doesn't turn out well. You do need a little bit of pushback and creative, I guess, tension or whatever. I don't know what you need. You just need a team. You know what? Another thing kind of came to me is like a lot of people saying, oh, the Dolphins, the same old, same old. No, it's actually, we've gotten some new twists in the last few years, because it used to be the Dolphins would start out like gangbusters and then fall flat on their face in the last half of the season. Now they just fall flat on their face and then they finish like gangbusters, except when they have a really big moment at the end and then they fall flat on their face again. So it's a little bit different. So
They still steal the headlines with ineptitude. It's amazing because if you're in South Florida and you're a sports fan, I know a lot of people are watching different parts of the country, and maybe it's the same story with some of your teams. But this is a very unique area in regards to the instant indifference that develops when teams aren't good. And then that becomes, after long-term selling of false hope, which is what the Dolphins have been doing for a while. You look at what's happening. The Florida Panthers, the hockey team here, having a dynamite year by any standard, atop the NHL, and yet nobody really believes that it's real yet. And the Miami Heat were
count
like
me in that
scrubs,
camp.
are like a couple of games out of the top spot in the Eastern Conference, which is amazing because they're playing guys that weren't even in the NBA a couple of weeks ago.
We've got some good spring, winter and spring sports coming up here. That'll be fun to watch. The Panthers, great. I mean, I don't begrudge
You're not a
them that-
believer? You
Well,
covered the team for
I
a while.
believe that they're a really good regular season team now the last couple of years. What I don't believe is that they can win a playoff. Well, I'll believe it when I see it. I want to see it, but they haven't won a playoff series since when? The year of the flood, since the year of the rat or something like that. It's and like not to be rooting against this regime, but they made things personal when I had the audacity to question some of their maneuverings for public money, even though
Who
they're
got
very
after you
wealthy.
there?
That was the what's his name? The Sifu, Doug Sifu.
Oh, yeah, Doug Sifu, yes.
Yeah, he got things very personal on a Twitter war after
Is that right?
in my news column days when I was questioning the team's bid to get more. They came out with their helmets in hand complaining about the arena, which is county owned, and it seems like it's anything that gets involved with improving the arena, they want the public funds in the form of the bed tax money to come and help and bail them out. But
let me ask you this from your city desk experience. I mean, how much of a benefit is it really to the city of Sunrise, let's say, in Broward County, to have the team there? Or is it beneficial at all from a financial standpoint? Is it the usual bloodbath that the county and the municipality is taking?
Well, I don't know if it's a bloodbath, but it's just most of the benefits go toward the team, and all of the costs and most of the risks in terms of having a long-term arena there fall on the county. And I was just pointing out at that time, because the team was pleading poverty and they're losing all this money and blah, blah, blah. And I was just saying, well, you can't necessarily trust the books that's self-provided by a team, because as we saw with the Marlins, they totally cooked their books to make things look a little worse than they were. And when I said that this might be some creative accounting, Sifu went after me like I had just robbed him of his firstborn, like you've never run a business and you don't know anything, and blah blah blah, just coming with all these personal attacks. And I was like, you know what, let's talk about the meat of the matter, which is what is the team's finances actually doing, and why do you need to come back to the county after you already bought the team under certain conditions? And look, businessmen
legitimate questions which people usually don't care to answer in that capacity.
Businessmen do things that are to the benefit of their businesses. I understand that. But journalists also do things that journalists do, which is looking out for the public interest in a watchdog role. And don't come at me personally with this crap. when I'm doing my job. And so I have personal animus towards Doug Sifu. Yes,
All
it's
right.
on the record, but I wish the Panthers all the success in the world. And if they actually manage to win a Stanley Cup championship,
You'll be calling Sifu for tickets. I love it. That's great. You learn a lot in your journalistic career.
Not just tickets,
We got to
freebies.
run, man. Get ready to eat again, Mike Mayo. And we'll be out there later on this afternoon. If
You
you're
got
in,
my blood
South
pressure
Florida.
up, Defo. Ooh,
Yeah. We'll
okay.
be at Cut Above. Lubie's going to make his first appearance on the food show. And only to eat, which is great, although he is lending some technical expertise to the equation here, which we hope works, because you've been able to pull these off on your own, Mike Mayo, and they look great. So we'll see if Lubie can come in and foul it up. But anyway, that's what's the address on that? It's on Cordova
Yeah,
Boulevard?
1541 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale, just off that 17th Street corridor there, right across from the Southport Raw Bar. Come in, see us, say hi at the Cut Above Butcher Shop Bistro, Lunch Bistro. We're going to be feasting on some mighty fine sandwiches, burgers, salads, maybe a salad for me. I'll go light.
I don't know, man. I mean, you're going to need medication tonight, eating 10 varieties of barbecue at the Fort Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. That's why he is the Gambling Gourmet. Picked up 7 sticks yesterday on a remote with Patrick Hutter. Got paid more by the people of the racing gods than obviously the show was worth. But that's the way to do it, man. If you can parlay a little gambling and work together, there's nothing like it. Mike, we love you. We'll see you later on.
All right, bye.
All right,
bye,
Mike
guys.
Mayo,
See you
ladies
later.
and gentlemen.
Thanks.
Yeah, so he's dropped 6 pounds. What do you think, Lubie? Legit?
He looks good. He's
good?
just constantly eating, so I don't know how he's going to maintain
He's
it.
eating on the show, man. I mean, please. Even we are refraining from that. Although Jack said my hair looked a little wild today. What do you think, Lubie? Is it this fan that's overhead?
You look fine to me.
All right?
I don't, I guess, hone in on you that hard. You look good to me.
All right, good. Yeah, my friend Francesco, who don't tell me you can't find us, because I just texted him where to find us, because he was sending me some messages asking me if I'm alive. I said, well, I'm live right now. Well, why don't you just pop on ionchannel.com? He says, you look great in a blue shirt. So I guess he was okay with the hair. All right, we'll see you guys on Monday. A lot of fun being with you. Once again, if you're in the area here, Cut Above Butcher Shop is the name of the place, but they have like a great little bistro where they serve lunch and I think maybe even dinner, and you can take out stuff there. It's fantastic. Mayo and I will be out there, and Mike Lubitz going to join us, and that'll be a live broadcast on 1470 AM. Here in the Broward County and Palm Beach area. If you're a fan of that Let's Eat South Florida page that Mike Mayo started with the Sun Sentinel, which I am. I mean, that is a great
It's great.
vehicle. I mean, even if you don't believe everything that everybody says, a lot of people complain about stuff that I consider to be nonsense because they don't always get it right. Let's face it, restaurants. But
no.
I mean, it's an entertainment venture as much as it's a culinary thing. And you know what? Most of these places really go out of their way to do like the best job possible and do a great job. We're lucky to have a lot of great restaurants here. So that'll be represented at the Fort Lauderdale Wine and Food Festival. I almost said Fine and Wood Festival, but Wine and Food Festival, which I don't know if you want to make it out there, Lubie. You said you had conflict.
I'd like to. I have my nephews. We just got a kitten, so the nephews are going to stay at the house and meet the kitten tonight. So I'm a little bit out of pocket, but I'd love to go. It sounds freaking amazing.
Sounds good to me. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. All right, so we'll see you around town, and we'll see you Monday here on Ion Channel. Thanks, everybody at Ion Channel, for carrying the program here, and hopefully we'll be carrying it to great success. And I'm going to try and hawk some more T-shirts on Monday. I'll get a good, clean copy of one.
Yes, please.
And wear it on Monday's show, and we'll wear them until we sell them out, right? Until I'm pulling the shirt off my back right here on the show and throwing it at the camera like it was Harvey Pack saying, so long, everybody, and may the horse be with you. For Mike Lubitz, I'm Jeff Deforrest. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next time as we leave you on that.
The time.
It's 9:32.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my soul.